Hey! Hi. That's it? Aren't you excited to hear from me? It's been forever. What do you want? Nothing. Just saying hi to a friend. We're not friends, Miller. Huh? Is it because I bullied you as a kid? That's ancient history. I didn't say that. Oh, and my last name isn't Miller anymore. It's Anderson. Right, you married Kevin. Yeah. Why do you hate me so much? You gotta relax. I just wanted to catch up. You got married, right? Oh, man, time flies. You're back in town, right? Oh, we were kids just a few years ago, you know? And I'm getting so old. My hair and skin, it's just not the same, you know? I wish I was young again. Getting old sucks. Okay. How about you, Maggie? You taking care of yourself? I guess. Good. Good to hear. Why aren't you saying anything? Ugh. Whatever. Look, there's something on my mind. Huh? What are you talking about? Last weekend, I was out shopping and I saw something really interesting. I don't care. I gotta go. You'll probably want to hear this. What? Hypothetically speaking, if you saw a friend cheating on another friend, what would you do? What? Just answer the question. I'd probably call them and tell them what I saw. And tell them that it's wrong. But I don't know. I might not call them at all. Why are you asking me all of this? Interesting. But, what? I know you're having an affair. What? Me? Having an affair? Yep. I know everything. You're cheating on your husband. I know. What? No, I'm not. That's what they all say. Why do you think I'm having an affair? I saw you! I told you. Stop trying to deny it. Okay. Not sure who you saw, but it wasn't me. You know what I love? Gossip. I just can't get enough of it. It's so exciting, you know? What? You know that TV show? What's the name? Cheaters. Ooh, I love that show. This is so much fun. And the thing is, I got proof. You know what that means? Proof of what? I haven't done anything wrong. Look, you don't have to deny it. Everyone cheats on their partner at some point. I've been married for 2 years now, but I get it, you know? It's okay. I told you, I'm not having an affair. You know that cafe near the station? The one with the famous pancakes? Yeah? What about it? Last Saturday? Around noon? Does that ring a bell? Huh? Oh. See? I knew it! Maybe I'll tell your husband about it, and your boss too! Tell them what? What are you saying? You sure want to play it like that, huh? I'll do it. Your husband might leave you. What are you trying to do? Look, relax, okay? I don't want to make things awkward. So, how about this? Pay me. then I'll keep quiet about all of this. So what do you think? If you say no, I'll send the pics to my followers. Followers? Yep. I got a secret account for this kind of stuff. I got a lot of followers. More than 10,000. Pretty impressive, right? I only follow like 4 people, though. Good for you. Check it out, see? Your pic will be all over the internet. Your husband will find out for sure. And everyone at your workplace, too. What picture? That's my little brother. What? I knew it. That's my brother. We're done here. Liar! I met your brother when we were in high school. He was not this handsome. You're such a liar. Stop trying to deny it. Oh, it's pathetic. He got his looks from his mom, so he's pretty good looking. When he was a teenager, he didn't care about his looks, but these days he keeps himself pretty clean. Then why are you grabbing his arm? Why not? He's my little brother. Ugh, if you're gonna lie, you'll have to do better than that. I'm not lying. Just stop. Look, I'm trying to help you here. I'm gonna go grab a drink with a friend. I'll text you when I'm done. Hey, I want an answer now. Why aren't you picking up? I'll upload the picture online if I have to. I'm not kidding. Oh, my bad. I completely forgot. So, what's it gonna be? What are you talking about? You know exactly what. You gonna pay up? You want me to upload this picture online or not? I told you already, I'm not paying you. That's my brother, okay? Oh, by the way, your husband called last night. Why? He gave me permission, so here, let me send you a screenshot. Then, he sent me this picture. It's a custom-made wedding ring, right? He made it just for you. Tell him it's all a misunderstanding. Please? I'm not lying for you. Please? No. Wait. What the hell? How did he find out? I kept that account locked. How did this happen? I don't know. Maybe it was one of your followers. I guess you can't really trust anyone. Sucks for you. Well, gotta go. Bye. Wait! What am I supposed to do? I'm freaking out here. I'm scared. Help me. Just ask your followers for help. Stop joking around. Please pick up. Please help me. Oh, I know. I got an idea. What? Are you an only child? Yeah. Does Coda know? Yeah. Why? Look, just tell him that he's your little brother. She left a mountain of evidence in her secret Twitter account. She deleted her account and begged her husband to forgive her. But it was too late. Kevin's mind was made up. A few months later, he divorced her and threw her out of the house. She lost everything. And now she was up to her neck in debt. Sucks to be her. Oh well, not my problem. The other night, I told my brother about this over dinner. We had a good laugh at her expense.
Hey, Yoshida! What are you doing right now? Mr. John, hello! At the moment, I'm cleaning the house. What? Cleaning? Are you being serious right now? Everyone other than you is at work already, my guy. At work? But I thought today was Sunday, right? Was there something that happened that I didn't know about? You didn't hear about what was happening today? We were supposed to go to a barbecue with Mr. Noda from P-Media today. Aw, crap. Sorry about that. I'll head over ASAP. Whatever, dude. I'll go ahead and pick you up real quick. By the time you show up, I'm sure he'll be long done. You're seriously a loser, aren't you? You realize that you have to have social interactions when you start growing up and working, right? You probably think that if you're working, nothing else really matters, right? Right? Come on, be honest with me. No. I really just didn't know about this whole thing. Sorry, sir. It's been like half a year since you joined us, but have you been talking to the other employees? I personally feel like I've been talking to them a healthy amount, but then I wonder why you haven't heard about today's plans from anyone at all, huh? Whatever, I don't care. You're the only person out of all of our employees with no education. It totally makes sense why they would separate themselves from you. What a surprise, though. I invite you on board because the famous Steve highly recommended you, but then I end up with some high school dropout. I don't care how much you can work. If you didn't even graduate high school, I think the trust in our company might fall too. Kinda scared, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I'm not picking on you, mind you. Don't get it twisted, dude. You were just too poor to even go to high school, right? It totally makes sense that someone as successful as Mr. Steve or I should help someone out who's poor and not blessed like you. But my company has employees that have gone to the tip of the spear universities. I mean, I handpicked them after all. I want to double my employees eventually and make them chock full of elite employees. I don't know if you'll be sticking around till then, though. I'll make sure not to drag anyone down by working real hard. I'm not expecting anything, but you really better at least work hard for your money. Dude, come on, Yoshida. Why are you moving things forward without consulting me first? Hello, sir. Good day. I'm not sure I really understand. Can you explain? I didn't give you the green light to move forward with your project, and you're moving forward? Why do you think that was appropriate? I didn't have any response when I messaged you on our chat, so when I stopped by to directly speak with you, you specifically told me that it would be fine for me to move forward as planned. What? When did I say such things? Are you sure I said that? So what? You're saying that I'm to blame? You're gonna blame the CEO of the company instead of taking responsibility for your own mistake? No, sir. That's not at all what I mean. Look, you realize that there are some things in business that just comes down to he said, she said, right? That's why we use our chat system to make sure everything is on record. If you don't get an answer, you can't just come talk to me in person. That's just completely unacceptable. But I couldn't get a response on the chat, so I messaged twice though. I'm literally the CEO, dude. Do you understand? I've got bigger fish to fry besides you. You understand? There are priorities to things to do. Your work is going to be pushed to the back, naturally. I'm sorry. You're seriously such a drag. Whatever. You don't have to come starting tomorrow. Just looking at you and seeing you pisses me off. What? So, are you firing me? Yeah, exactly. I don't like how you behave at work, so it's justified termination. If I can't use you, you don't belong here. I see. All right. I understand then. Oh, really? That easily? I'm really glad I didn't have to argue that point. I couldn't really handle the amount of poison and toxicity you were spewing in my direction as well. It's actually perfect that you fired me. I should thank you. Perfect? What? Yes, I was actually planning on starting my own business as well. I see. I'm glad that this was beneficial for the both of us. I'm sure some reject middle school graduate is not able to run a successful company, though. You're not even liked around the office by anyone. Why would some guy who can't even build up relationships around the office start a company? Did you not even realize that everyone was talking shit behind your back? Oh, I knew that I was being left out of events, but the only person that was intentionally keeping me away was you. Then why are you always all alone? You don't wonder at all? No one ever invites you to go to have lunch with them. You're also never at any of the company events. If you were actually liked, people would inform you, don't you think? That's because you were always making sure they wouldn't tell me, right? I knew you were trying to make me quit. I'm not stupid. Besides, when you're not around, everyone is incredibly kind towards me. You really don't have to flex like that. I know you're weak. Whatever. Bye, uneducated poor loser. Oh, don't tell anyone that you even step foot anywhere near our office, yeah? I don't want anyone to know that I hired some middle school graduate. Hey, Yoshida! What the hell did you do? All of my employees suddenly started resigning on me. Literally, all 6 of my employees quit. Oh, congratulations on all your employees leaving you. What? I'm asking, what the hell did you do? Answer my damn question. They literally all left the company saying that they were gonna find another job at another company. How did you convince them to leave it all? Oh, don't be like that. They all seem to want to work at another company anyway, so I just helped them out by suggesting they find another job. Then someone said that they would be interested in joining my company. So now they all actually came over to my company. All 6. Wait, why the hell did they go to your company? You must have bought them out. That's gotta be it. No, I didn't do anything with money at all. You realize how much pain and grief you're causing me? I won't be able to meet any of my deadlines like this. They don't show up to work because they're using their PTO up. I don't care how you did it or what you did. Just give them back to me. I can't do anything. They have their own free will. I think they all wanted to quit without my interjection at all anyway. Maybe because you kept playing dirty with them? Or maybe when you tried to intimidate or didn't compensate them fairly for their overtime work, making them go shopping for you on weekends or cleaning your house. I can keep going. Why would anyone want to go back to a CEO like that? You seem to have gotten pretty damn arrogant after starting your own company. You better believe that attitude won't get you far in this world. I know a lot of people in a lot of places. They trust me a lot more than some newbie pipsqueak like you. I was keeping quiet because Steve had recommended you to me, but I think I'm done staying quiet now. Yeah, I think I'll say everything. I mean, everything I know. I don't really care. Go right ahead. Huh? Well, just so we're on the same page, the person who introduced me to you is my older brother. Huh? Wait, hang on just a sec. Steve is literally your older brother? Yeah, exactly. But your last name? Oh, my parents had a divorce, so we ended up with different last names is all. Also, when my brother started his company, I actually helped him with his startup. I may be a high school dropout, but I know everything there is to programming and systems engineering. Then why the hell did you join my company? Oh, I didn't have real experience in a regular company. My older brother and some of his friends would help me out often with where to work, so I wasn't really confident in my own abilities to start my own company. That's when my brother told me that he knew someone who was starting a company, and that I should learn a thing or two from there. I mean, I ended up having to deal with you at your shitty company, but oh well. Wait, you're jerking my chain, right? I didn't expect you to be Mr. Steve's younger brother. I never knew. Yeah? Why would you think that? To be honest with you, I have a reason I was super strict on you, and some might even say mean. I just wanted you to learn how the real world operated. I wanted to teach you a lesson, you know? I really didn't mean anything personal by it. Even when you were introduced by Mr. Steve, he said that I could fire you if I couldn't use you at all. That's why I really feel like I was able to help you out, and I don't know if you misunderstood. I see. So you're blaming my brother because he told you to do that, right? I mean, it's not like he told me directly to do that, but look, I don't care. It's done. It's in the past. Doesn't matter anymore. I don't plan to tell my brother about you and what you've done or anything like that either. Wow, you're seriously different from the others. You're really Mr. Steve's younger brother. You got what it takes to make it big. That's why I want to ask you politely and correctly. Please, help me out with the project that I have assigned to me at the moment. Please. If you can convince the others to come back, that would be excellent as well. What? How could some reject middle school dropout do such a thing? That's impossible for someone as incapable as me. That's not true! That is absolutely not true at all! It's something that only you are capable of. I apologize for everything that I've done to you and the others up until this point. So please, help me out just this once. I understand. You understand? I don't want to make the clients that always gave us our orders have to miss their deadline. Sure, I'll help you. Thank you. You seriously saved my hide with this. Thank you so much. However, I will be taking all orders directed to your company from now on and handling them at my own company. Huh? You're planning on taking down my company? Taking down your company? Oh, come on, that sounds terrible. No. Let's just say you're my biggest client for projects. You're just being a smartass. Don't mess with me. I would never give you all my projects. I mean, it's not like you can handle all incoming projects alone, right? You really should just leave it to me from now on and let that ship sink. Maybe you should use that time to learn the fundamentals. You know, for example, how to build a healthy relationship with someone. Afterwards, John was unable to do anything about his situation with the company and its employees. He came crying to me with only a few days left before their deadline. He probably didn't expect all of his employees to resign at once. However, all of the employees were pretty tired of dealing with John's terrible attitude and harassment. With regards to the whole high school dropout thing, he really was just harassing me. He apparently also played favorites with his employees. He would often call me up on the weekends to run his personal errands. I'm sure he must have been happy to be with those favorites, and he might have thought they would have been happy too, but honestly, it was just a nuisance and nothing more, nothing less. I don't think there's any problems for employees to get along with the CEO, but I think there needs to be a clear line drawn that makes sure that you don't break any rules of employment. John lost his confidence and trust over this, and apparently he lives as a shut-in at his parents' house. However, the reason I was able to start my own company was actually in part thanks to none other than Mr. John himself. I need to thank him for teaching me a lesson or two in how a company works. So I will never forget about Mr. John. Of course, I'll use him as an example of exactly what not to do.
Hey, Sarah. Do you have a little time to talk? Oh, hey, Clara. No problem. What's up? You know that trip we're taking next weekend? The destination was up in Maine, but that place we're planning to stay at, that's your recommendation, right? Yes, that's right. My mom used to stay there all the time when she traveled a lot, years ago. I also stayed there a few times, and they've been really good to me. It's what people call a bed and breakfast, but it's quite popular. Well known for its hospitality, but it's actually, well, about the place. I canceled it. Okay. You... Hold on a sec. Canceled? Can I ask why? Well, I was just outside. I was talking with the neighbors, and I came to the conclusion that this B&B, well, it just doesn't seem right for us. I'm not sure what you mean. Well, it's a B&B, according to my friend. It's way up in the mountains, right? You younger kids, well, it may suit you guys, but, you know, I'm much older. I'm not used to such extreme environments. So, we decided not to, go there. So you went and canceled our reservations? You do realize that the kids were really looking forward to staying there. Before you go any further, I took the liberty to make reservations at another hotel. At a hotel in New York City. I made reservations at the Grand Hotel. The suite was available, so I made the reservations. It was $400 a night. A bargain. Apparently, there was a sudden cancellation. But considering the great service we get, I couldn't resist. $400 per night? Is that per room? With the whole family, we'll need 3 rooms. Yes, of course. We can't all stay in one room. I had a hard time getting reservations for that place up in Maine. It's travel season, you know. Why'd you go and cancel it? Are you worried about the cost? Don't worry about it. I'll pay for the grandkids. No problem there. Shall I pay for your husband's too? I will if you need me to. No, that's okay. As for the kids, we'll work it out somehow, so don't worry about it. But could you please refrain from doing such things in the future? It really disrupts our plans, not to mention the embarrassment it causes. I mean, I do have responsibilities with regard to my relationship with the place. Ugh, Sarah, you have no responsibilities to that B&B. Why worry about responsibilities? What you should be concerned about is the image. You have to impress people. I mean, a B&B in the mountains of Maine? Please, I can't boast about that. I would be perceived as some sort of country bumpkin. Please, Carla, Mom, that so-called B&B isn't just some ordinary lodge. It's been operating since the 1920s, and some very well-known people have stayed there. I think even a U.S. president. Of course, the service may not be on par with a luxury hotel in the city, but there's a reason why they've been in business for almost 100 years. Am I hearing you correctly? Please stop lecturing me, Sarah. I have way more experience in such matters than you. Oh, you really are something. I didn't expect that from my daughter-in-law. I'm not lecturing you, I'm just stating facts. Let me stop you right there, Sarah. I've been going on such trips, both domestically and overseas, for years. Before you were even born, as a matter of fact. Who are you to tell me which hotel is good or bad? Besides, I bet you've only been on such trips only a handful of times. I don't like being lectured by an inexperienced person like yourself. I understand. Oh, yes, I forgot. On the day of the trip, let's meet at the airport. We're taking different flights. We arrive at LaGuardia Airport, at the newly built terminal. So, don't go to the old one. You got that? I'll contact my son and tell him too, just in case. Hey, Sarah! Good news. What is this about? The hotel we're going to tomorrow? I just learned that a friend of mine that I worked with back in the day is apparently working there. Evidently, she saw my name on the guest list and contacted me right away. Oh, really? Wow, that sounds great. That's such a coincidence. Yes, a real stroke of luck, wouldn't you agree? And she also assured me that she would do all she can to give us the best room service and other accommodations. Super lucky, don't you think? Yes, sure is. That's wonderful. I feel so silly that I doubted you. Yes, that's for sure. My decision to change venues was not mistaken. I mean, really, an old mountain inn? No room service? Please. I'm sure the grandkids will be way happier staying at this luxury hotel rather than some antique B&B up in the mountains. Yes, I'm sure you're right, Carla. I just arrived at LaGuardia. Have you guys arrived yet? Where are you at? can't seem to find you. Are you at the arrival lobby? We're just getting ready to check in. Oh, I see. Okay, I'll head over there right away. Oh, no. Oh, hold on a second. Sarah, I made a huge mistake. A mistake? That's right. I just checked my hotel reservations and it seems I made reservations for 2 adults and 2 children. I'm so sorry. Oh, what was I thinking? And what's more, they said they were fully booked. No other rooms available. So, that means, and I'm sorry about this, but you're going to have to stay at another hotel alone. Oh, yeah, why not just sleep in the lobby? The Grand Hotel has a really spacious and comfortable lobby area. Are you serious? I don't really like saying this, but, well, seems like an opportune time to do so. I didn't want to be in your presence at such a luxury hotel. You know what I mean? You're not exactly glamorous or anything. So, I'm gonna be candid with you. I'm really sorry, but you're not wanted on this trip. Let me stop you right there. Mom, who exactly do you think is not wanted on this trip? Huh? As I said, we just checked in. So, Carla, do as you please. Haha, what are you blabbering about? Are you planning on shutting me out? It's no use, Sarah. One word to management, and I'll get you kicked out of the hotel. I have a dear friend working there, or did you forget that? Enjoy the hotel while you can. I'll be there soon to have you kicked out. Hello? Sarah? What's going on? You guys haven't even checked in yet? Where are you? Are you out by the pool or what? Huh. As you suggested, I enjoy myself, so that's what I'm doing. Really enjoying myself, as a matter of fact. That outdoor spa was so refreshing. Outdoor spa? There's no outdoor spa here. I did tell you we'd already checked in, right? Just as I thought. This place is wonderful. The air up in the mountains of Maine is just so fresh. Huh? What did you just say? You're not serious. Does that mean you guys are up in Maine now? Yes, that's right. Are you out of your mind? Hold it one moment. This is a joke, right? No joke. Why would I joke about that? I'll send you a photo if you don't believe me. Here you go. I can't believe it. I just don't believe it. I thought I told you we would meet at the LaGuardia airport. My children told me everything. They said you were trash-talking me on the phone. They were crying that I was not going to stay with them, that it would be my husband, you, and the kids, that I would not be included. They were in tears, demanding to know why I was not included, that I was not going on the trip. They felt abandoned. They stood there, telling my husband and me this, tears streaming down their cheeks. Huh? Okay, so you hate me, but why go so far? Of course, that's not the only reason. You were going to just cancel, without even bothering to call them. Yeah, cancel, of course. People do it all the time. There's no need to cancel, just don't show up, and that's that. Besides, it's just an old dilapidated shack of a B&B. Why do you even know about this? Yeah, well, I called the place 3 days ago to apologize for the sudden cancellation. And they greeted me as usual, acting as if nothing had occurred, asking if the kids had any type of allergies or any specific ingredients that they didn't like. That's when I realized that you hadn't canceled. That was not right, not calling them. They run a business, you know. Actions like that could even land you in court. So, we had a family meeting. And as a result, well, here we are. Just lucky there was no cancellation fee. But I believe you're going to have to take care of that on your end. I think it's like 70% of the per night cost, if it's the day before. Maybe 100% on the same day. Don't really know their cancellation policy. Waste of money. My husband was furious. So anyway, we decided not to cancel and stay here as planned. But for you, I guess it's just a pittance. Stop right there, Sarah. I took the trouble of reserving a couple of suites at the Grand Hotel in New York. And this is the thanks I get? I will never, ever forgive you for what you pulled. A penniless down-and-outer like you. Now it's my turn to stop you, Carla. I let you go on and on like a broken record, but when it comes to hotels and resorts, I have way more experience and knowledge than you. Huh? How could you have more experience than me? You've only been on vacation a handful of times. Do you know why that is? Because you have no money? No, because I plan and schedule all kinds of trips for customers as well as taking the occasional trip myself. Reason being, I'm currently a hotel concierge. Work at a hotel? A concierge? What the hell is a concierge? Whatever. A hotel concierge prepares and schedules travel details for the guests. That includes hotel reservations, of course, but also making reservations for restaurants or suggesting various attractions around a particular city or area. I make arrangements for a countless number of guests, which includes most of the East Coast, as well as in Europe. And I myself have visited most of these places as well. Uh-huh? You arranging such a trip? Yes, and this B&B we're staying at right now is a 5-star resort. It may have started out as a so-called B&B, but it's nothing of the sort now. More like a luxury resort. This is unforgivable. Completely unforgivable. So what you're saying is I spend my time here in New York alone? But you get to stay in a suite room all by yourself. Oh, what a dream come true. Wow, I really envy you. So you're this so-called great concierge or whatever. So hurry up and make an arrangement to get the entire family over here and do it ASAP. I really can't do that. I mean, just the distance alone. Figure it's about 500 miles. Or would you like to come up here? My husband and the kids aren't too keen on you joining us, but I'm fine with it. What do you say? You can catch the red-eye flight from New York to Portland. The flight is maybe an hour or two, and then you can rent a car from there. And it's maybe a 3-hour drive. Great scenery through the mountain roads. On second thought, maybe safer to stay at a local motel overnight. Look forward to seeing you. Are you having severe mental problems? Besides, my friend here is doing all she can to give me the best service possible. If I do that, after what she's done for me, I have responsibilities too, you know. Oh yeah, I forgot. Weren't you saying that's all image and being a responsible person means nothing? That's different. How so? Didn't you say, what was it? That it's all image, you have to impress people or something to that effect? Every time I met my mother-in-law, she would criticize me for this or that. I tried ignoring her, just nodded and agreed with everything silly that she said. But I was honestly quite shocked that she'd actually planned this whole trip, planned to exclude me. After that, I heard she was so angry that she insisted that the hotel serve her 4 meals that she had arranged. The hotel staff was really put in a difficult situation. In the end, they ended up calling a doctor to treat her. Indigestion, I guess. She apparently was not about to pay the cancellation fee. Her friend insisted that she leave, as the other guests were offended by her outrageous behavior. My husband was also at his wit's end and is seriously thinking of cutting off all ties with her. After we got back from the trip, he visited her and really gave her a piece of his mind. He hasn't talked to her in months. I can't really see him ever talking to her again. As for our family trip, we enjoyed great food. the beauty of the great outdoors and that outdoor spa. We were superbly satisfied. We made a solemn oath to come back next year. I don't know if it was this incident that prompted it, but since we tended to go on such trips more often. Where shall I plan the next family trip?
Mrs. Emerson! Sorry, I know it's early, but on my way to work, I witnessed a car accident. This girl got injured and, long story short, I gotta take her to the hospital. I'm gonna be late. Sorry.
It's still 7:30. You got time? Just run.
I can't. Like I said, this girl got hurt. And I'm taking her to the hospital right now, so...
Listen, Oliver. You called an ambulance, right? Then she'll be fine. Leave her to the professionals. What can you do to help her anyway? You don't know anything about first aid. You still got time. Get over here now. You better not be late. Oliver? You're late. What time are you gonna get here?
I'm in the ambulance right now.
What? What are you doing in an ambulance?
Her parents are at work. They're on their way, but until they get here, someone has to look after her.
You're not making any sense. You're not even related to her. Why are you doing this? Stop poking your nose into other people's business. Ugh. Wait. I get it. You're doing this because you don't want to come into work.
Look, I don't care what you think anymore. A little girl got hit by a car, okay? She's hurt really bad. I'm not just gonna leave her there and go to work. I'm taking her to the hospital whether you like it or not. We're almost there. I'll call you when I'm done.
No need. Just grab a cab as soon as you get off and come into work. If you leave now, you'll make it just in time for the morning meeting. Oliver, answer me.
I'm inside the hospital right now. I can't talk on the phone.
Ugh, that's it. I've had enough of this. You're almost 30 years old, right? If I call you, you pick up. I'm your boss. You should know that by now. You're not a kid anymore.
I know that. Look, I wanted to do the right thing. I couldn't just leave her there.
Listen, you. You think you're special because you graduated from an Ivy League school? Think again. I'm your boss. Stop talking back to me and do as I say.
The mother of the girl just arrived. I'm gonna grab a cab and head over to the office now. I'm sorry for all the trouble.
Too late. You'll never make it in time for the meeting. You're in a lot of trouble. Your selfish behavior caused us a lot of trouble. You realize that? Just take a half day today. And don't even think about charging the cab to the company. Hey, thank you so much for earlier. It's me, Caitlin, Michelle's mother. She gave me your number. Again, thank you so much.
Oh, sure thing. I didn't ask her for her number or anything. She asked me to give her mine.
I know. She told me. Don't worry about it. Anyways, where are you right now? I wanted to talk to you, but you were gone. I'd like to thank you in person.
Oh, that won't be necessary. I just did what anyone else would have done.
But wait, you were on your way to work, weren't you? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Did you make it to work on time?
Actually, I'm eating donuts at a cafe in the station.
What?
My asshole of a boss told me to take a half day, so I decided to take a break.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry for all the trouble.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm gonna go shopping after this. And then I'm gonna eat some sushi for lunch before going into work. It's all good, so no worries.
Oh, I see. Hey, I know. My daughter and I just left the hospital. Can I maybe take you to lunch? It's the least I can do.
Oh, you sure? You must be exhausted. Don't you have to go to work?
No, I took the rest of the day off, so we were just going to grab something to eat on our way home. Come on, join us. Please, I insist.
Okay then. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, I'll meet you at the station then. Be there in about 10 minutes. Oliver, where are you? It's 11 a.m.
Huh? You told me to take a half day.
Wow. Are you serious right now?
Huh? What do you mean?
After all the trouble you caused? What's wrong with you? Get over here right now and apologize to everyone.
I'm sorry. You're right. I owe everyone an apology. But, I don't want to bother them during work hours, so I'll apologize to the others during break or something.
That's it. I've had enough. This is unacceptable. I'm reporting this to the company president. I'm gonna call your family, too.
Oh, okay.
You might end up losing your job. We don't need employees like you. Oh, and your grandmother. She lives with you, right?
Yeah. What about her?
Then we should definitely fire you.
Huh?
She's really old, right? You'll probably use her as an excuse to miss work. And what happens when she dies? With all the funeral arrangements and stuff, you probably wouldn't be able to come in for a week. You're just like those women who quit right after they get married or pregnant. You're nothing but trouble. We'd be better off without you.
Mrs. Emerson, you're a terrible person. Work is important, I get that, but there are more important things in life, you know.
Ugh, not this again. Give it a rest. Whatever. I'm reporting you. It's over for you. Good luck finding a new job. Oliver? Pick up the phone.
What do you want? It's Sunday. I don't have to answer your calls.
Fine, just listen. What did you tell the company president?
Huh? What are you talking about?
He just called me and gave me a warning. He said I made things up about you. I didn't do anything wrong. What did you tell him, huh? That's it. I'm through with you. I'm gonna do everything I can to get you fired. You just watch.
I know he called you. I'm actually at his house right now.
Huh?
The girl I helped out the other day? Her parents told her school about it, and the principal wants to thank me in person.
What?
The company president and I are going there tomorrow.
Wow, hold up. What? What are you talking about? Explain yourself, Oliver.
Sorry, I'm busy. I'm with the company president right now, so... Oh, and hey, he told me what you said about me. You told him that I made it all up, right? You told him I was a pathological liar? Nice try.
What?
He lies all the time for no apparent reason. Those were your exact words to him, right? I was pretty upset when I heard that, you know. So I sent him a screenshot of our conversation to get you back. Ha!
Huh? No, you're joking, right? This isn't happening.
He was furious. He said he's gonna call you and talk to you in person. You'll probably get fired. Whatever. I'm gonna go home now, so bye.
He called me, but I didn't pick up. We're not done here yet, so...
You ignored his call? But he's the company president! You're almost 50, right? You know better than that. He's your boss. You probably shouldn't be ignoring his calls like that.
Shut up! Stop messing around! Oliver! Look, I'll let you off the hook. Just talk to him for me, okay?
Talk to him about what?
About the incident. Tell him this was all your fault. I did nothing wrong. You gotta tell him that.
Huh? I don't know about that.
Just do it! This is all your fault, you know? Why should I lose my job? This isn't right. After everything I did for this company.
He was telling me something earlier. He said the most important thing when it comes to business is trust. doing the right thing, helping others, that sort of stuff. He told me he was proud of me. It really made my day.
What? But I'm gonna lose my job now.
So? How's that my problem?
Fine. I'm sorry, okay? Now please talk to him.
Huh?
I apologized? Now talk to him for me. I can't lose my job.
Sorry, I can't.
What? Screw you. After everything I've done for you? It's the least you can do.
I don't know about that. I'm not helping you. Sorry.
Hey, pick up now.
It's over. Stop texting me. Good luck finding a new job. A few days later, Mrs. Emerson got called to the company president's office. She ended up getting fired. No surprises there. She put up a pretty good fight, though. By the end, she was begging the president to give her another chance, but he was through with her. She was pretty good at her job, but he told her he didn't need employees like her. A few hours later, she finally gave up, packed up her things, and left the office. She was crying like a baby. Oh, and Michelle and her mom, Caitlin. I started spending a lot of time with them after the accident. And just the other day, Michelle gave me permission to be her new dad. I was flattered, but Caitlin was way out of my league, so I don't know. I don't even know if she likes me. We'll see, I guess. Anyways, things got much better at work after my old boss got fired. Just glad everything worked out.
Hello there, Lena. How are you? About that luncheon with all the moms, you know, the one planned for next week, there was something I wanted to discuss with you about that. Oh, yeah, I forgot you were organizing that. So, what's up? Oh, no, I'm not organizing that. It's just, you know, Marnie, you know how awkward and unsophisticated she can be? I just thought, I'd hate it if she picked some awful restaurant for that luncheon. You know what I mean? Yeah, I see. But that outdoor restaurant she chose last time was really nice. Oh, yeah, that. That was at night, and it was lit up really nice with those Christmas lights. Just seemed kind of pretty, that's all. You go there during the day, and it just looks like someone's backyard. But for most Instagrammers, that kind of place just won't cut it. Right. So, I was thinking, for the next luncheon, maybe you could recommend a spot for us. Well, I don't really get out that much. I'm not too knowledgeable about the restaurants and such. I don't really have confidence in it. Sorry. Come on, you're being modest. I hear your husband works at a major corporation. Just last month, I heard you stayed at the downtown Hilton. Oh, that was for my son's birthday. It was a special occasion. We don't do it often. See, you're being way too modest again. Please, recommend a really nice, high-class place for us, won't you please? This next meeting, it's a luncheon, right? Should we even plan on going to a high-class place? A local family-type place is good enough, don't you think? Oh no, this is a once-a-month get-together. We should have a little fun. It's not like we go out every day. We should splurge every now and then. We moms deserve it. Yes, well, you may be right, but to be honest, if we, as you say, splurge, even if it's once a month, that can dig into our monthly budget. The other moms probably think so too. I really don't think it's practical. Lena, just because your husband works at a major corporation, I find it kind of insulting to insinuate that I'm poor or something. I'm doing no such thing. Didn't I just say that I'm on a tight budget? Frankly, I think we should do these lunch get-togethers cheaply and just have fun. No need to spend more than we need to.
No, you're completely wrong there. I mean, just indulging ourselves once or twice a month wouldn't affect your monthly budget much, would it? If it did, your husband is just not making enough. Or does he give you a fixed allowance or something? A hardworking wife and mother should demand more from her husband. We moms deserve more respect. And besides, it's my birthday next month too. Need to show a little appreciation. Oh, yes, that's right. You may be right about that. You betcha. So, what we need to do is to have you recommend the best place possible for our next get-together. All right, understand. Okay, how about we go to the place on 5th Street called Silver Swan Bar and Grill? It's supposed to be very good, although it may be difficult to get a reservation. Silver Swan Bar and Grill? Huh, sounds nice. I went there with my husband on our last wedding anniversary. They only accept reservations, and it's been selected as one of the top 3 restaurants in the city, I think for the last 5 years or so. Ooh, really? That sounds just about right. Then it's decided. Oh, please, let's get everyone's okay on this before we make a reservation. I mean, this place isn't cheap. Although it's lunch, it's way more costly than a local diner. Oh, come on, Lena. You're such a nervous Nelly. I'll contact all of them and ask, if you're so concerned. Besides, how could they turn it down? Thank you. I would appreciate that. Once you get everyone's permission, I'll call them and make reservations. Don't worry about it. I'll call everyone and get their permission, and also I'll make the reservations. But this place will probably require a small deposit. It's that kind of place, you know. Are you sure you can manage? A deposit? Why would they need such a thing? Well, basically, it's a policy they have to prevent guests from canceling a set menu, recoup the cost of preparing all the ingredients, and so forth. So, this is a deposit? This means the money is returned, right? Yes, the money is returned. Oh, okay, so no problem. All right, I look forward to hearing from you once everything is decided. Oh, wow, this is going to be such an unforgettable birthday. Thank you so much for this, Lena. Don't mention it. I'm just glad I could help. Hey, Ellen. I feel kind of bad saying this, but about that money I lent you related to that class get-together, when can I expect it back? Oh, yes, that. I'm sorry. I forgot all about that. You know what? I forgot to bring it on that day. How much was it? It was $60. Huh? $60? Did you contact me about that? That's peanuts. Peanuts? Well, it's not just the money. If you owe someone, it's only proper to pay it back. Whether it's a dime or $100. Makes no difference. Makes no difference. It's a matter of principle. Matter of principle, huh? Oh my God. Lena, don't tell me you can't afford it. Huh? I mean, $60? That's really not a whole lot of money. To be honest, if it was me, I would probably not say anything. Probably forget all about it. I bet your friends think you're a real cheapskate. No, I don't think so, as far as I know. Besides, if I really was such a cheapskate, I probably would not have lent you the money in the first place. I see. You know, Lena, I think I had you all wrong. I thought you were rich and really didn't care much about a little money here and there. I figured you were more laid back. Yes, I think you're right about that. I'm just an ordinary housewife. Nothing special. Seriously? You? Lena? A poor housewife? And I never imagined it. Oh, I'm so disappointed. I kind of looked up to you. Sorry to disappoint you. Now, as for the money you owe, I expect it back as soon as possible. I think it's only proper to return what you borrowed. Wow. Wow. You are persistent, I'll give you that. All right. I get where you're coming from. I'll drop it off in your mailbox later today. Are you okay with that? I would rather get it directly from you. I mean, we are talking about money. Uh-huh. Are you serious? Oh, I get it. You think the money is just going to grow legs and walk out of the mailbox. Yeah, I guess if I was in that pauper's mailbox, I'd also want to get the hell out of there. Oh, or are you afraid someone might steal it? Ooh, what kind of neighborhood do you live in? It's actually a pretty nice neighborhood. You know what? Forget it. Just leave it in the mailbox whenever you're ready. Should have just said that from the start. Just made you look silly. Oh, and the next luncheon? I'm gonna pass on that. Sorry. I really don't feel like going after being treated like this. Oh, yeah? Suit yourself. And besides, the restaurant you recommended? I'm starting to think it's not really that great. Maybe I'll switch venues. I mean, the Silver Swan doesn't sound that great. Do as you please. You're the one who said it was so great. A pity you won't be attending. Or is it that you're actually poor and... I get it. You were just looking for a reason to cancel. Yeah, that's it. I'm so sorry. I should have noticed and given you an out. Think what you like. Goodbye. You give up pretty easily, I must say. I'll upload the photos on Instagram, so enjoy them. You'll regret not coming. I guarantee it. Okay, see you. Hello, Lena? Are you there? Where are you right now? Where? I'm at the supermarket. I just finished with my part-time job and... Get over here to Silver Swan right away. We're having trouble here. Oh, the Silver Swan, huh? So you didn't change venues, I see. What's up? We just finished the luncheon with everybody, but they said I can't leave the bill to you. Huh? Like I just said, I asked them to leave the bill on your tab, but they refused. Normally, whoever introduces or recommends the place, that person is obligated to pay. I keep telling them that, but they insist that I pay. Ugh, I can't understand why this restaurant would be one of the most popular in the city. What's going on? Uh-huh. Sorry, but I'm really not sure what you're talking about. When you go out to eat, whoever orders the food pays. Seems obvious. And would you please stop such nonsense? It's probably a real hassle for the restaurant, and I do want to go there in the future. Besides, I don't see how I have to pay. That just doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense. You're the one who introduced this place. Oh, you're unbelievable. This weird understanding you have that the person who introduces the restaurant has to pay the total cost is bonkers. Where did you even get that notion? Oh, hold it a second. Am I being pranked? Oh my God, is there a camera in my house to catch all of this? Will you stop screwing around? This is no prank. Does that mean you're really saying this? For real? Of course I am. Oh, this is all your fault. Get over here now and pay the bill. Sorry, can't do that. I promised my kids we'd go see a movie this afternoon. Why don't you just split it between all of you? I mean, it can't be that much. But they're already gone. Huh? I told them it was all my treat and I had them all go home. That way I look a lot better, richer in their eyes. Gotta keep up appearances. Huh? Let me get this straight. You made reservations for the restaurant, intending to have me pay for the whole thing. That was your plan all along? So you make me pay, but you get all the credit. That's why you sent them home? That's exactly right. Pretty clever, huh? Clever? I don't really know about that, but I'm pretty shocked. I mean, really? I really can't comprehend your mindset. Are you saying that this is all my fault? This is all because you're such a damn cheapskate. Anyways, I didn't expect the cost to be close to $500 for the three of us. You really conned me this time. Oh boy, I think I have a headache coming on. The only option you have left, in my opinion, is to call all of them back to the restaurant and have them all pitch in. How could I possibly do that? I already told them that it was my treat. I can't call them now and have them come all the way back. How embarrassing! Well, then I guess you're just going to have to work it out yourself. What? A friend is in a dire situation and you don't even help? What kind of person are you? I really feel sorry for your kids and your husband. You took the words right out of my mouth. Oh yeah, should I contact your husband for you? Have him go over there and help you out perhaps? What? Don't you dare. I don't need you to do that. If you say anything to him, you'll regret it. Oh, okay then. There's really nothing I can do. I suggest you just pay for it yourself, with credit or whatever. Anyways, work it out yourself. Please, Lena, help me out here. Please come over right away. So you don't give a hoot if my kids starve? Huh? I thought you said 1 or 2 outings won't affect your household budget. Maybe your husband is not making enough. I distinctly recall you saying some such thing. I never said such a thing! Well, check your line message from last week. I'm sure you'll find that quote. Want me to check for you? Just please stop. You're getting off topic here. Just get over here ASAP. If you don't, you'll regret it. You do care about your kids, don't you? Oh my God, you really did say it out loud. You do realize that's blackmail. It's a crime, you know. Oh, please shut up. Just get your ass over here right now. How many times do I have to repeat myself? So you don't give a damn what happens to your kids? Is that it? You keep this up, and I won't be the one going over there. It'll be the cops. Huh? Say again. Why would the cops come here? Are they going to pay the bill? Cat got your tongue? Come on, speak up. The lunch you had today. My brother is the chef there. Huh? You mean to tell me your brother works here? That's right. He just contacted me a while ago. He said that there was some woman here that won't pay the bill and insisted that I pay for it or leave it on my tab. Apparently, this woman kept saying that Lena would pay for everything. He said he wasn't sure it was me, but I was the only Lena that he knew, so he figured it had to be me and called me. I explained the whole situation to him, and he concluded by saying that he would call the police for interfering with a legitimate business establishment. Huh? Interfering with business? I also told him that I have zero intention of paying that bill. That's not my responsibility. Oh yeah, you said earlier that the bill was almost $500 for the three of you. If you had opted for a different course, you could have gotten off a lot cheaper. I've been there several times, and they have other, more inexpensive courses. But you went ahead and picked the most expensive. I don't know if you were just trying to impress your friends, or if you fully intended to have me pay for all of it. I kinda suspect it was both. You think this is one big, funny joke, huh? Okay then, I'm just going to walk out of here. This is all your fault. I have done nothing wrong, so you better be ready to explain that to the cops. You do that, and you'll get arrested for not paying the bill. How did I even get myself into this situation? I never heard of a situation like this. Did you just get released from a mental institute or something? Anyways, just stay there. I'm headed over there right now. I intend to explain the whole situation to the police and will show them the entire conversation from start to finish. So just keep that in mind. Oh yeah, I'll also mention that you haven't paid me back yet either. And also the fact that you blackmailed me. All of it will come out. Are you really okay with that? Oh, and no use deleting your line messages. I already have it archived. Hold on 1 second. Please, answer. Let's talk this over. Lena, come on. Come on, please. We're friends, aren't we? Please, just lend me the money then. That's all I ask. You're really something, Ellen. All that trash talk about me, And then you pull this pathetic stunt? Then you blackmail me by threatening my children? To be honest, I can't forgive that. You're talking about my kids here. You're probably right about one thing, though. It will certainly be an unforgettable birthday. By the time I got there, the cops had already arrived before me. I eventually got the whole story. Well, it seems that Ellen's sister and her husband invited her out a few months ago, and the brother paid for everything, insisting that the person who invites someone must always show the courtesy by paying. I'm sure he was just showing off, or maybe just being a good host. Anyways, Ellen took it literally and concocted this plan to get me to invite everyone out and then have me pay. The whole affair was a little idiotic if you ask me, but the fact remains that this whole affair did cause a ruckus, and I apologized profusely to my brother and the restaurant staff. But my brother and the owner of the restaurant were very understanding and asked me to continue recommending the restaurant to others. As for Ellen, she was taken in and questioned by the police. Her husband found out not only about the incident, but other similar ones as well. I hear they're on the verge of divorce. They were planning to move out of their current home due to her husband's new overseas posting. So I suppose I won't be hearing from her again. So at least that's a relief. From now on, I really should be careful befriending people, whether it be at work or at my children's school.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey, Kelsey. I heard you bought a new house. Apparently it's detached, too. Get you, Missy.
Hi, Sally. It's been a while. That's right. It is detached, but it's nothing too fancy, really. It's not like it's new or anything.
I heard it's huge, though. I'm so pleased for you. Sounds to me like you're all set to live the good life. I'm actually a little jealous.
Not at all. It was old and run down, so we got it way cheaper than the market price. It might look okay from the outside, but believe me, we had our work cut out with the renovations and repairs. I wouldn't go as far as calling it huge, though it is a lot more spacious than the old one. You know how much bigger they build them in the countryside?
But you renovated it, right? I bet it looks like a palace now. Renovating your own house seems to be all the rage lately. Just the other week, I heard about my friend's friend reforming his whole house. I've seen TV shows about it too. Just yesterday afternoon, I was watching one called Peeps Designs. Everyone's doing it.
Well, I guess you're not wrong. You do hear about it a lot now.
Anyway, enough beating around the bush. Are you gonna tell me or what? When's the big day? When are you moving in? When?
Next month.
That's really soon. I wish you'd have told me earlier. I am your mother-in-law, you know.
I did plan on telling you sooner. I've just been busy with all sorts of things, that's all. Sorry I kept you out of the loop all this time.
That lazy son of mine almost never gets in touch with me, you know. I get the feeling that if I didn't text and call him, we'd never speak. I sometimes wonder if he still holds what happened between us in the past against me.
Do you by any chance mean that time you and his dad stole the money from his scholarship when he was in college?
Oh, you know about that? Come on, dear. Stole is a bit drastic.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's drastic at all. I heard all about how you gambled away his entire scholarship fund on the slots at the casino.
Oopsies. Weren't we just the naughtiest? Not just the casino either. My husband used his fair share on horse racing.
He had to work 2 jobs while studying for a master's in biochemistry because of what you guys did. He told me it was the hardest period of his life. He literally had no free time and was getting by on cup noodles, 3 hours of sleep a night, and ungodly amounts of coffee. As if that wasn't bad enough on its own, he said your dad took most of his wages too.
It was hardly our fault. We were going through a really difficult patch back then. Without Anthony's help, we would have never been able to keep up with the absurd repayments on our debts. Can you believe it's even legal for them to make us pay that much? I know it can't have been very easy for my son, but, well, whatever. It's ancient history now. What is family for if not helping each other out in a pinch?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe not getting them into pinches in the first place? Besides, Anthony ended up being the one responsible for the repayments on the scholarship money you stole. Not only that, but he had to bear all the burden by himself, and was threatened with expulsion from college if he didn't keep with them up. Is all of this true?
Yup, sure is. What of it? Are you surprised? It was his scholarship. Obviously, he was going to be the one who paid it back. And of course, there would be consequences if he didn't. Besides, it's not like we spent all of it. He had plenty left to use as he saw fit. It's an undeniable fact that some of it got spent on college stuff and living costs, you know. Books, stationery, food, and of the like. Of course he should pay it back. He signed the document, so he has a duty.
I just can't shake the feeling that his share of the burden was disproportionate with how much he actually got to spend on the stuff the scholarship was intended for in the first place.
What exactly is the problem here? It all worked out in the end. He's working for a major global company now, right? Not only that, but you're rich enough to be able to afford a huge detachable house in the countryside, so things can't be all that bad. A few measly repayments on his scholarship are hardly gonna break the bank. This is hardly as dramatic as you're making it out to be. Most importantly, he agreed to do it. It's not like we did anything behind his back.
I see.
Anyway, forget that. This is old news, and we have much more important matters to discuss. Which reminds me, there was something I wanted to talk to you about.
Something important?
Yes, very, very important. Me and my husband have decided to move in with you both in your new house. Which means we'll be seeing you next month, Kelsey, my dear.
Excuse me? Is my phone broken? Am I reading this right? You're moving in with us?
You certainly are. You didn't think you were gonna be able to buy a big luxurious house like that and not share it with your beloved in-laws, did you? Let's be real here, that place is far too big for just the two of you to live in. You'd be bored and lonely without us. It just so happens that me and my husband have been wanting to live in a big old house in the country for years now. It even has a yard, doesn't it? I'm so excited. I have all sorts of ornaments to decorate the lawn with. We couldn't believe it when we heard the news. The timing was so good anyone would think it was fate.
Whoa. Just slow down a second, Sally. You can't just invite yourself to live with me and Anthony all of a sudden. Have you even mentioned it to him yet? Because this is the first time I've heard of it.
Don't worry about him. He's always been a mommy's boy. He'll be over the moon when he finds out he's going to be able to see me every single day. He always was such a good, obedient child, and he's no different now.
But still, it's not fair of you to spring this on us like this. That house was supposed to be for me and him to live in. We do have circumstances of our own, you know. What makes you think we're in any position to accommodate you?
Circumstances? What kind of circumstances?
Anthony's suffering with an illness. We found out a couple of days ago. He has cancer.
What? Cancer?
To get hit with a bombshell like that right before moving into our new place. We haven't come to terms with it yet, and our heads are a mess. He hasn't started chemotherapy yet, but the doctors say things could get rough. We have a lot of preparing to do for the fight ahead. That's why we're simply not in any position to consider having you move in with us right now.
On the contrary, all the more reason for us to move in with you. Let me help you nurse him back to health. This just settles it. We absolutely have to come now. It's times like this that family needs to pull together to be there for one another.
No, it's fine, really. I can take care of things myself. The bottom line here is that we're in no position to take you in. Are you listening to me? It's not happening.
I'm listening to you, but have you heard yourself? What you're saying is ridiculous. Why would you put all that pressure on yourself when there's someone offering to help you? Who are you, super nurse? What if you get sick too? What good is a convalescent bedridden mess to my poor son? Even if I just stick to housework, the burden on you would be a damn sight easier to deal with. Picture it, it's the ideal situation. I deal with everything around the house while you focus solely on nursing my boy back to health.
Sure, it would be nice to be able to give him my undivided attention.
Right? I'm glad you're coming around to my way of thinking, sweetie. I always knew you had a good head on your shoulders. Leave it to me. Let's all live together as one big happy family.
Sally, what on earth is going on here? The house looks like a bomb site. I go out for one day and I come back to find the place looking like a hoarder's den?
Welcome home, sweetie. If you're back, why don't you be a dear and get to work on the housework right away? The kitchen's dirty.
How about you do something yourself for a change? Not only that, but you need to stop forcing Anthony to drive you places. He's going through the worst phase of the side effects right now. He's barely fit to walk around on his own, let alone drive the damn car.
But it was raining. What else was I supposed to do? You're a clever girl. I'm sure you understand I had no choice. It's impossible to get anywhere living in the middle of nowhere without the car. Why did you have to buy a house this far from civilization in the first place?
What does the location of our house have to do with you forcing your seriously ill son to chauffeur you around like you're a freaking aristocrat? Those are two completely different issues. You have to stop this.
I do wish you'd shut up already. You're like a broken record. If the thought of your husband driving the car is so unconscionable to you, why don't you take me out yourself? It's easy to talk, but are you willing to put your money where your mouth is?
Where exactly do you need to go so desperately? You don't even have a job.
I like going into town. We live in the middle of nowhere. There are nothing but farms and mountains for as far as the eye can see. I'd go senile sitting around the house all day. The only reason I get Anthony to take me places is because you're nowhere to be seen. He could rest more if you weren't so unavailable.
Why do you think I'm not available? I do have a job. You know my husband is in no fit to work, let alone drive a car. I'm working for both of us to make up for the hit we took with him, having to take time off work.
And we highly appreciate your efforts, sweetie. I assure you. That reminds me, I ran out of money again this week. Can I have another $400?
Excuse me? Wow, are you saying you spent the money I gave you already? I only gave it to you 3 days ago.
Oh, please, Kelsey, did you really expect that to last me more than 5 minutes? It was pocket change. I lost it all in the slots of the casino.
You blew the money I gave you to get on by the slots? Oh my god, Sally, has your husband been going to the casino with you too?
Who knows? He's probably walking around the streets with a can of beer in one hand and a cigarette in the other. I haven't seen him in 3 days. He's probably loitering in an alley somewhere making people uncomfortable for all I know.
I didn't want to have to say this to you, but you guys are spending too much money. I don't care if you're my in-laws. Wrong is wrong and this can't go on. We live together for crying out loud. Would it kill you to have a little more consideration for me and your son?
What's the problem? Are you saying me and my husband shouldn't have hobbies? If you're gonna be like that, I'll just ask Anthony instead. My darling boy. I know I can always count on him to look out for me. He'd go to the bank or rush out to find an ATM in a heartbeat if I asked him to.
Don't you dare! He's undergoing cancer treatment, damn it! He's fast asleep and you will not bother him. Fine, you win. I'll give you more money.
Excellent! I knew you'd see things my way before long. You're a smart cookie after all. Me and my husband are gonna need $400 each this time.
You're asking me for $800? There's no way I can afford that. You'll have to get by on half.
You greedy tightwad. Surely with the amount of hours you're working, epoxy $800 shouldn't be a big deal.
I have to draw the line somewhere. You're gonna gamble us out of this house if you keep this up.
What's the big deal? Just convince Anthony to retire early. He'll get a nice, juicy severance package, and our money worries will be a thing of the past.
No way! Anthony loves his job. He's looking forward to going back to work. It's a huge motivating force for him. And I don't think he'd have it in him to fight this cancer with the same level of determination without it. If he quits, who's to say he won't lose the will to fight the disease? And then what?
Stop being so selfish. It's time to face reality, Kelsey. My son is incapable of working as things stand, and that's not set to change anytime soon. How are new employees supposed to join the company with him clogging up the roster by being too stubborn to know when to leave? Leaving them hanging in the balance like that is unfair. It would be better for everyone if he just left.
Don't even say things like that. My husband is no quitter. He isn't giving up, and I won't give up on him. He will absolutely go back to work. I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
Oh, to be young. One day, when you grow up, you'll realize blind faith never gets you anywhere. It's time to stop being so naive and childish and accept the harsh realities of life. Kelsey, I'm going for a few drinkies with the girls before I come home this evening. I won't be needing any supper.
I see. In that case, I won't be able to come and pick you up. Please make your own way back in a taxi or get a lift from a friend.
Huh? Are you joking? It's your day off work today. Are you telling me you'd rather laze around on your butt eating potato chips than give your elderly mother a lift home?
I'm busy. Anthony's funeral might be out of the way now, but I still have tons of stuff to take care of.
Ah, yes, the funeral. I was blown away by how big the turnout was. I had no idea he was loved and respected by so many people. He was always so shy and introverted. It's hard to imagine him having that many friends.
Everyone loved Anthony because of how kind he was. He was a good man who would do anything for anyone.
Yes, my Anthony was one in a million. It's just a shame he left us so young.
Right.
Anyway, the funeral's over now. So we really should get around to dealing with his belongings. Most of them are going to have to go in the trash, of course.
Why? What's the rush? Can't we at least wait until it doesn't all feel so raw? He's barely been in the ground 5 minutes and you're talking about tossing his things in the trash?
Why wait? It's going to happen eventually, so we may as well do it now. We need to clear out the room he spent his final weeks laid up in bed in. I want to turn it into my own personal hobby parlor.
We're not clearing out his things.
Why not? It's not like we're gonna use them anymore. Besides, this is not your decision to make. I make the rules from now on. Me and you are strangers now, and strangers aren't welcome in my home.
Wow, what's that supposed to mean?
It's exactly what it sounds like. Without my son here, you're nothing more than a stranger, no different to someone I'd pass by on the street.
Are you trying to kick me out of the house?
Bingo! I knew you'd get it eventually. Well done, sweetie. Think about it. Me and you aren't related by blood. I tolerated you when my son was around for his sake. But there's no reason for us to carry on living together now. This house rightfully belongs to me and my husband as a memento of my son. You're trespassing, so get out.
Wow, so that's what you really think of me, huh? I see. You know what? You're right. Strangers don't have any right to live in other people's house. I'll make the necessary moving preparations immediately.
You always did have a knack for understanding things quickly. Thank you, honey. I'm so pleased you didn't make this any harder than it needs to be. Make it quick.
Understood. I agree. The quicker we get this over with, the better. Okay, that settles in. I want you and your husband out of this house by tomorrow.
Excuse me? Me and my husband leave? What are you talking about? You know, dear, anyone would think you're trying to get rid of us. The only one leaving this house is you.
That's where you're wrong. You and your husband are the ones who'll be leaving.
I've never heard anything more preposterous in my life. Are you trying to make me die of laughter? My son bought this house. It's only natural that it goes to his parents.
Are you just trying to get a rise out of me? Or do you actually believe that? I was Anthony's wife, which means I'm first in line to inherit his assets. I'm the owner of this house. I want you to know that I had no intention of doing this before you tried booting me out. But you forced my hand. I want you and your husband gone by tomorrow evening, and that's final.
How could you? My son would be turning in his grave if he could hear you right now. He'd never allow this. He's the one who let us live here in the first place.
Well, Anthony's gone, which means I no longer have to tolerate your selfish shenanigans or walk on eggshells around you for fear of causing a big row. From now on, when it comes to anything to do with this house, my word is law, and you will do what I say.
Why, you impertinent little upstart. You think you have the right to tell me what to do? I'm your mother-in-law. Show some respect. If you get cocky with me, it'll be the last thing you do. I promise you that, little girl.
You might not have realized this before because of how much I was holding back for Anthony's sake, but me and him are completely different. I have no intention of blindly obeying the irrational commands of a selfish, domineering control freak with delusions of grandeur. You have no authority over me, Sally.
But you did everything I told you up until now. Why are you giving me all this attitude all of a sudden?
Like I said, the only reason I was so obedient all this time was for my husband's sake. He was in a bad enough way as it was with the cancer and the chemotherapy. The last thing he needed was me and you at each other's throats all the time. He was bedridden for crying out loud. Think about that. How would you feel if you were gravely ill and surrounded by an atmosphere of conflict and hatred 24/7? I wasn't obeying you. I was merely tolerating you.
Does that mean it's okay to disrespect his wishes now just because he's gone?
I'm not disrespecting anything. The last thing Anthony would want is for me to be unhappy. And that's one thing that's guaranteed as long as you're around. Get out of this house as soon as possible. I'm prepared to take legal measures if you refuse.
Legal measures? Don't be so dramatic, dear.
If there's any doubt in your mind as to whom the rightful owner of this house is, then I'm willing to take the necessary steps to prove it to you once and for all. If there's a brain somewhere in that head of yours, you'll realize you don't have a leg to stand on and disappear from my life forever.
Come on, Kelsey. This is going too far and you know it.
The idea of lawyers and judges is so unpleasant to you, then I suggest you get out of this house because I'm 100% serious. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Just know that one of them involves you going to court. Both scenarios involve you and your husband getting out of this house, so you may as well make it quick.
Ugh, fine. Look, if you do insist on kicking us out, can you at least give us more time? Tomorrow is too soon. It's just too soon. We need more time to get our things together and find somewhere else to go. Surely you're not evil enough to force your elderly in-laws to live on the streets.
Try me. Who knows? Maybe I really am that evil.
Look, Kelsey, I understand you're stressed, and based on what you said, I get the feeling that over a year's worth of stress, upset, and dissatisfaction are coming to the surface in one big violent eruption right now. I get it, I do. But if we have to leave, we need to make some preparations first. Please, can we have a little more time?
This is probably just a ploy. You think if you can drag out your stay a little longer, I'll calm down and change my mind, don't you? I'm beyond sick and tired of your lies. I was opposed to you moving in with us in the first place, but you sweet-talked me by promising to help with housework and looking after Anthony. That help never materialized, did it? To the contrary, you use the two of us as your personal slaves, butlers, and chauffeurs, paying no mind whatsoever to the fact that your own son was terminally ill. To think you actually forced your son, who was barely capable of walking, to drive you to your friend's house so you could eat cakes and drink coffee with your friends 3 times in the same week?
First things first, the only reason I couldn't help with looking after Anthony in the housework was because I've had a bad back lately. I wanted to help you more than anything. Truly I did, but I was in so much pain.
You were well enough to gamble on the slots at the casino all day. You should have been more than capable of lending us a helping hand every now and then. But no, it was nothing but excuses, excuses, and more excuses. You were the lady of the manor and we were your servants. I'm so fed up with you. Even this conversation is too much. Every message you send drains a little more of my energy. I want you out of my life.
Can't you see how dramatic you're being? Can we at least have more time? Please, let's just put the brakes on all of this for a little while longer. I'm begging you.
There will be no deferments. I've been deferring the whole time we'll live together. I'm done putting up with your crap.
What the devil is going on? Why is all of our stuff piled up outside in the yard?
I told you yesterday, you were to be gone by tonight. Read through the chat logs if you're struggling. I also made it clear there would be no deferments.
Are you serious? You actually intend to kick us out onto the streets?
How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not as soft as Anthony was. Besides, you said it yourself. We're strangers, right?
Even so, that doesn't justify taking such extreme measures. You've crossed the line. My son would be so disappointed with you.
Nope, actually. I don't think you could be more wrong. In fact, this is actually what Anthony wanted. Everything that's happening right now is happening with his approval.
How the hell is that even possible? My son is dead.
He told me before he passed, of course. He apologized for the inhuman amounts of stress I had to endure as a result letting you two move in with us. He broke down and apologized profusely in floods of tears. Then he told me that he wanted me to cut all ties with you once he was gone.
Wait, what? There's no way my darling boy would ever say such a thing about his own mother.
To the contrary, he made it very clear. There's no doubt about it. He was racked with guilt and regret over letting you live with us and wanted to make up for it at all costs, which he still could. He even put it into writing. He must have known you wouldn't believe me and would try pulling every trick in the book to escape your fate.
No way. How could he do this? That boy used to do whatever I told him to.
Tell me, Sally, why do you think he did whatever you told you? Why do you think he went along with your absurd demands? Why do you think he tolerated your god-awful behavior for so long? Don't you think it's a little odd?
He didn't think the things I asked him to do were absurd. He was just a good boy with nothing but love and respect for his mother, plain and simple.
Interesting. How do you explain him calling you a toxic parent then? He was fully aware you were exploiting him. Plus, causing me stress and suffering was the last thing he wanted to do, which is why he did consider saying no and refusing to let you live with us.
Huh?
But he gave in and accepted it by the end. Why do you think that might be? I didn't understand it all the time. If my parents were as toxic as you, I'd have to cut them out of my life a long time ago. Sure, you might struggle to get by now. You're officially homeless. But that's not my problem.
Why, you ask? Why? Because my son was kind and caring. You and him couldn't have been any more different, you evil witch.
Bingo! No matter what selfish, manipulative scumbags you are, you were his parents and he loved you. But one thing's for sure, he was the only person on this planet who was capable of that. Your single protector and ally is now gone.
Are you going somewhere with this? What exactly is your point?
You're pretty dense, huh? My point is, there's not a single person left in the world who loves you and your waste of space husband. Let's face it, you don't even love each other, do you? You're nothing more than a pair of pathetic vermin huddling together out of fear of being alone.
What did you just... Vermin? How dare you?
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you were always vermin.
Huh?
My husband told me everything. His childhood memories of you. He told me about how way back then, when your husband fell ill, you dropped everything to care for him around the clock. He told me about how you'd make up lunchboxes and take him for picnics, to the zoo or for scenic walks by the river. You took him anywhere and everywhere, and you stopped at nothing to make him happy, in spite of the illness.
My son told you all that?
But eventually you changed. You were around your rat of a husband for too long, and eventually you became vermin too. The only reason Anthony agreed to let you move in with us was because he remembered the good times. And he believed that somewhere, hidden away deep inside you, was the mom he used to know and love. He thought maybe you'd turn over a new leaf. I think he genuinely believed you when you said you were moving in to help out with the housework. And with looking after him. He accepted you with a heart full of hope.
Hope?
But that hope was smashed into tiny little pieces. You betrayed your son.
I betrayed him? What are you even saying? Surely you don't believe that.
There's an old candy tin in one of the boxes of your stuff out in the yard. Why didn't you take a look inside?
This dirty little tin? What is it?
It belonged to Anthony, but I have no need for it, so it's all yours.
I said, what is it?
Inside that tin is an origami gold medal. Remember it? Remember that time he caught an awful cold and had to drop out of the school track in field event? He'd been training so hard and couldn't wait to compete. He was so down in the dumps about the whole thing. So you made him that origami gold medal to make him feel better.
Huh? This is that thing I made 30 years ago? He kept this the whole time?
That medal meant the world to him because it reminded him of his precious childhood memories with you. He loved you. No matter how much you exploited and manipulated him. No matter how many good times you betrayed him.
Oh my god. I had no idea he felt that way.
It's too late to regret what you did now. Anthony's gone and he's never coming back.
What else did he tell you? He told you all about his childhood memories, right? There must have been more. Tell me.
Oh, you're suddenly interested in your son now? I'm afraid I'm gonna have to say no. This has nothing to do with me.
Please, I'll apologize for everything if you tell me. I'm begging you.
The time of apologies has passed. There's no going back now. Anthony's gone. I hope you regret this. I hope the pain is unbearable, and I hope it tears away at your heart until the day you die. Now let me remind you one last time. This house is mine. Because I was the only one who gave your son the love he deserved. Not long after that, my father-in-law started causing a commotion outside the house, demanding I stop this nonsense at once and let them back in, but his wife soon shut him up. I can only think that what I said to her actually penetrated that big frosty wall around her heart. My mother-in-law, clutching that dirty old candy tin into her chest as if it was more important than life itself, took her husband and disappeared. I haven't heard from either of them ever since, and I heard through the grapevine that they ended up divorcing. It's been 2 years since I lost my husband now. I ran into his mom one time when I was laying some fresh flowers at his grave. As soon as she noticed me, she hung her head deep in shame and walked away, seeming to have none of the vigor or energy she was once so well known for. Something tells me she actually reflected on what she said, and used the whole tragedy as an opportunity to become a better human being. They do say every cloud has a silver lining. It's just a tragedy that the cost was so high. As for me, I'm still living in that same big old house in the country, surrounded by my cats and dogs, who I love and adore. We went through so much in this house, happiness and sadness, joy and misery, harmony and conflict. But strangely, the only things I remember vividly are the happy times me and Anthony shared together. That's why it'll always be an important place to me, and I intend to cherish and take good care of it for as long as I live.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Agnes, what time? I'm not sure he has long left.
Oh, yes, I remember you telling me. Is he finally going to
Agnes.
Casey?
out of our lives, you wretched old hag. After that, we hired
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Megan, is it true? What's all this I'm hearing about you stopping your IVF treatment? Rodney just told me. Hey, Betty, how have you been? Yep, the IVF thing is exactly like Rodney told you. We've decided to stop having the treatment. Why? You've been having treatment ever since you got married. Why would you want to give up after all this time? Do you not want children? We've been having treatment for years now, but we haven't made an inch of progress. All it's doing is draining us physically, mentally, and financially. It doesn't come cheap, and we just decided it wasn't worth the toll it was taking on us. Which is why, after a lengthy discussion, we decided to stop. But believe me, Betty, this isn't a decision that we took lightly, and it hasn't been easy for either of us. All that may be so, but still, do you realize that if you stop now, you might never get another chance? You're both already in your late 30s. The clock's ticking, Megan. You can't get pregnant forever. It might be difficult now, but it'll be downright impossible if you leave it too long. How do you think you'll feel then, knowing if you carried on with the treatment, there might have been a chance? I know that. Trust me, Betty, we've already been over everything you're saying more times than you know. But we decided this is for the best. Well, I won't go along with it. I simply will not. If you don't have kids, my son will be the last generation of this family. Are you trying to exterminate my bloodline? Exterminate your bloodline? Jesus, Betty, where the hell did that come from? I didn't have a toothbrush mustache the last time I checked. But being serious, we plan on looking into other alternatives. Having kids yourself isn't the only way, you know? There's always adoption or fostering. No. That's simply no good. It's a wife's job to bear children. Look, Betty, I understand how you feel. You're my mom-in-law and you want grandkids. I get it. I really do. And it's not like we didn't try. We tried so hard, but my body seems totally unwilling to work with us, and there's only so much stress we can take. I'm begging you, please, will you try to understand? This isn't easy for us either, you know? No way, it's too early to give up. At least carry on with the treatment for another year. But we've been doing it for years and years by this point. We can't take any more. A year's worth of treatment is expensive. To be honest with you, it just feels like we are throwing our money down the drain. We want to start putting it to better use on other things. Other things? Such as? Well, for starters, if we do end up adopting or fostering, it's going to cost us a lot, so we'd like to put most of the money towards that. Just wait a second. How could you be so selfish? I can't believe what I'm hearing. Why does this conversation seem to be going forward on the assumption that you have my approval to adopt? Let me make one thing crystal clear, Missy. You do not. How can you even call yourself a woman if you're incapable of having children? I'd appreciate it if you didn't say stuff like that. I can still become a mother without having kids of my own. Besides, you speak as if a woman's only value is her womb. I don't mean to be rude, but this isn't the Bronze Age. Don't get cheeky with me, young lady. I'm airing a legitimate grievance with your irresponsible decision, and you will take me seriously. You should know that I'll no longer acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law if you go through with this. If you can't have kids, there's no reason to keep you around. And we don't need you in this house for a second longer. Divorce my son immediately. Wow, are you joking? We're not getting a divorce. Why would we do that? Because you decided not to have children. Why wouldn't you divorce? Step aside gracefully so someone more capable can take your place. My son should be married to a woman who can bear children, not a barren wasteland like you. You're damaged goods. And you're more horrible than I thought. Me and Rodney love each other whether we can have kids or not. Me and him agreed to stop the IVF treatment together. Knowing my Rodney, he's probably just pretending to go along with it because he's kind. Deep down, he wants kids more than anything. It must be so difficult for him to hide his disappointment with you, my poor son. You probably make him feel awkward about talking about how he really feels, or like he'll get shouted at if he tells the truth. How could you make him tolerate such an awful situation? You're the worst wife of all time. Did Rodney say that to you? He didn't, did he? He's not pretending to go along with anything. How about you stop dictating at me about how you think things must be based on your own warped assumptions about the world and accept what I'm telling you at face value? How dare you speak to me like that, you insolent little upstart? I'm your husband's mother. I know my son better than anyone else in the world. We're not getting a divorce, and that's final. This is mine and Rodney's problem, so whether it's the kids or the treatment that may or may not enable us to have kids, it's for me and Rodney to decide on our own. Rodney told me you and him had a little chat last night? Yes, we spoke. What of it? Do you understand now? Because you were vehemently opposed to the idea of us stopping treatment when I told you yesterday. Rodney told me you both made your decision after a lengthy discussion. Right, and he made it clear it was his decision as much as it was mine, didn't he? He didn't say that. He also told me he has no intention of divorcing you. Okay, so do you finally accept it now? There's no doubt about it, we're broken up about the fact that we won't be able to have kids of our own, but Having kids isn't everything to us. Just because we can't have children doesn't mean that we're going to divorce. We mean more to each other than that, and there's more to life than just having kids. Don't worry, Megan, I understand perfectly. You've got my son wrapped around your little finger, and he's no longer capable of independent thought. Excuse me? Wrapped around my little finger? What's that supposed to mean? You know, I couldn't get my head around it when you told me. It just didn't make any sense. What man in their right mind would be okay with his wife not being able to give him children? That's simply not how the world works. When you get down to brass tacks, the ultimate purpose of a married couple is to produce children. Why do you think marriage exists in the first place? Maybe in your world, but not everyone thinks like that. Least of all, me and Rodney. This isn't my world. This is common sense, you cheeky little madam. Common sense? Common among you and your friends from the bingo hall, maybe. Sure, there are a lot of older folk who still think that way, but it's 2023 now, and the world is changing. You're wrong if you think that's how most people think. I mean, come on, Betty, there are tons of couples out there who've been together decades with no kids. It's pretty obvious that not everyone agrees with your worldview. You're wrong! I've never seen anyone be this wrong about something before. It's embarrassing. Would you please just calm down? Rodney himself just explained the situation to you. He told you this is what he wants. What more can we even say to you at this point? You've brainwashed him with your devious wiles. That's the only possible explanation for him speaking such nonsense. It has to be. It has to be. You still don't get it. I could forgive you being misunderstood before he set you straight, but I can't give you the benefit of the doubt anymore. This is beyond ridiculous. Just accept what we're telling you and let's be done with this fiasco already. You shut your insolent mouth! My son would never agree to something like that if he's had his head screwed on properly. He's been brainwashed. I should never have agreed to let you marry him. I have to save my son from your evil clutches. By that I take it you mean you want to cause him a bunch of unnecessary stress by trying to convince him to divorce me? Do you have any idea how upset he'll be if you carry on acting like such an obstinate blockhead? We've been through enough lately, Betty. The last thing we need is you bothering us with your absurd demands. You've got some nerve to claim to care about my Rodney being upset, when you've manipulated him into being your subservient little yes-man. You may as well have his manhood in a jar, that poor boy. I'm trying to save him from your clutches here. Wow, it's patently obvious this conversation is pointless. I may as well be talking to a brick wall. Actually, no, that would be an insult to brick walls. I've heard all I need to hear. You have no intention of listening to what either of us have to say. Fine, forget it. We don't need your understanding or acceptance. Who do you think you are? Don't be so selfish. What makes you think you call the shots here anyway? I won't let you get away with what you're doing. You've got another thing coming if you think this is the end of this, madam. If you're just going to keep talking at me while ignoring everything I say, then what's the point in us even talking at all? This is a waste of everyone's time. We're done talking to you. If you really care about Rodney, you'll accept that the best thing for us to do right now is to keep as much distance from you as possible. What are you talking about? Distance? Are you threatening me? I'm not threatening you. We're just making the only decision you've left us with. We're gonna be keeping our distance from you for the time being, or at least until you demonstrate to us that there's any value in talking to you. Rodney and I always knew we might have to do this one day. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. We knew that if you couldn't understand and accept our decision, we'd have no choice but to keep a healthy distance from you to preserve our sanity. What? Oh my God! So let me get this straight. Not only do you attempt to exterminate my bloodline by refusing to provide me with grandchildren, but now you're trying to snatch my own son away from me? You horrify me. Is there anything you're not capable of? You can think what you like of me. It's not my problem anymore. Who Who the hell do you think you are? You've gotten so big for your boots, you think you can steal my own son from me? You've got another thing coming if you think you're getting away with this, Missy. Hello, Megan. I heard someone attacked you and you got seriously injured. I hate to say I told you so, but this must be the universe's way of telling you to change your ways. Karma's a bitch, huh? I see you heard the news. Yes, I got attacked near the house. Whoever it was had some kind of baseball bat. How terrifying! There are some real lunatics on the streets these days. Did anything get stolen? Yes, they took my purse. Ah, so it was a robbery then. But why on earth did they have to hurt you if all they wanted was your money? How barbaric. I can't believe this kind of thing would happen in our neighborhood. It never used to be like this around here. The world's going to the dogs, I tell you. Right. You see it on the news all the time, but you never think it's gonna happen to you. Well, how are your injuries? The doctors tell me they'll take 3 months to heal. My legs are fine other than a few grazes from when I hit the ground, so thankfully I can still walk. But there's a big crack in my left wrist bone. I see. Well, it could always be worse, I suppose. You should be grateful you can walk, my dear. Life on crutches would have been a nightmare. Sure, I'm grateful it's not worse, but having a broken wrist isn't exactly fun, you know. I'm left-handed, so I can't even do simple things like cooking my own food or getting dressed on my own anymore. I'm so sorry to hear that, dear. How awful. You poor thing, this couldn't have happened to a lovelier person. I hope they catch the guy who did it soon. Thanks for your kind words, Betty, but you don't need to worry one bit. They'll be arresting my attacker any minute now. Wait, what? They're going to arrest him? You mean they already know who did it? But I thought you said you didn't get a good look at his face. No, I didn't. But I know where she lives. Not long now, I'm outside my attacker's house with the cops as we speak. Huh? Now? Where are you? Like I just told you, outside my attacker's house. The kind of deranged lunatic who'd attack someone with a bat as they walked home needs to be taken off the streets and thrown in jail immediately. Wouldn't you agree? Well, yes, of course I agree. But do they really know who did it? How? They found a clue. A clue? What kind of clue? Surveillance cameras? Witnesses? What's wrong, Betty? You're asking an awful lot of questions all of a sudden. You seem agitated. Is there something bothering you? Something you'd like to share, maybe? I'm not agitated. I'm just curious about who did it is all. It's only natural I'd be worried if there was some lunatic roaming around the neighborhood with a bat. I might be in danger. They couldn't figure out who it was from the surveillance cam footage. They were crafty enough to wear a hood, and they took a route with no cameras when they escaped. The cops said it was either the fluke of a lifetime or it was someone with a pretty intimate knowledge of our neighborhood. They say they think it was a planned attack, but my purse that got stolen turned out to be the ultimate clue. Your purse? I totally forgot about this, but Rodney reminded me after we got done with my x-rays and getting patched up by the nurses at the hospital. I have a loss prevention tag in my purse. A loss prevention tag? What's that? It's like a GPS kind of thing. I bought a couple, actually. I have one clipped to the inside of my purse and another in my phone case. I can activate it with this little button on my keyring as well as with an app on my phone. I'm so forgetful. I'd forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. Rodney got me a bunch of them for Christmas a few years back. They're so handy. I can't tell you how many times they've saved my butt. Wait, do you mean you figured out where your attacker lives using this tracking device? Bingo! We were able to pinpoint exactly where she lives. Isn't modern technology amazing? That's why you don't need to worry yourself one bit. My attacker will be in jail before you know it. And the neighborhood will be safe once more. Wait a sec. You wouldn't happen to be worried for a different reason, would you? Like, oh, I don't know. Maybe you'd be in trouble if my attacker got caught or something crazy like that. Betty, are you there? How long do you plan on holing yourself up in the house? I really think you should come out soon. You need to do something about the cops surrounding the place before I think about setting foot out there. There'll be a big ruckus if I come out, and that's the last thing either I or the neighbors need. Are you blind? There's already a big ruckus. Look at all the patrol cars. The neighbors are already out in droves. Haven't you seen the crowds? Everyone's wondering why there are so many cops outside your house. But don't worry, if you come out, things will calm down right away and everyone can get back to their normal lives. No, I can't. I can't be taken away by the cops in front of the entire neighborhood. There's a limit to how much embarrassment one person can take. But these lovely policemen would really like to have a chat with you, Betty. They're here to arrest you, after all, because you're a violent criminal. What? Who's a violent criminal? You, obviously. Me? Violent? I don't have a violent bone in my body, and I resent the accusation. I am your mother-in-law, young lady. Don't be so rude. But, Betty, you came at me from behind with a baseball bat and beat the crap out of me before I even had a chance to figure out what was going on. If that's not violent, then what is? We can go with barbaric or savage instead if you like. The bottom line is that you broke the law and my wrist, and you're going to face the consequences. Lies! There's no guarantee that this GPS tag of yours is accurate. Technology malfunctions all the time. Give me definitive proof or stop making these hurtful accusations at once. You're upsetting me. Definitive proof? Okay, you asked for it. Huh? I just had a look through the garden shed. Guess what I found? The bat you used to beat me black and blue with. What would an old lady living on her own need a baseball bat for? It seems suspicious if you ask me. I think we should have the forensic guys test it out. That's, Rodney's old bat from back in the day. I came across it when I was cleaning out the shed last week. The only reason I left it leaning against the wall like that was because I was getting ready to throw it out. Really? Cool story, Betty. Want to know something else weird? There's this dark red stuff all over it. It's my blood, isn't it? I think this just about covers our definitive proof, don't you? So what's it gonna be? Something tells me the cops' patience is gonna run out if you keep insisting on keeping yourself holed up in there for much longer. I'm no criminal! I haven't done anything that warrants me being arrested! So that's what you're sticking to, huh? I see. You just broke the tag, didn't you? Do you not realize it's a little too late? There's nothing you can do to escape the hell that's about to come down on you. I at least thought you'd be intelligent enough to know when to give up, but I was obviously wrong. Are you calling me stupid? How dare you? Forgive me. I accidentally said what I really think of you. Do not make fun of me, young lady. This is not a joke. Your life is one big joke. How can I not make fun of you? Not liking me doesn't give you the right to use violence to beat me into submission with a baseball bat. These aren't the actions of someone with a brain, Betty. Aside from being wrong on every level, it was completely moronic and borderline psychopathic. You don't get to act like a cave-dwelling savage and not face the consequences. All I wanted to do was take back my son after you stole him from me, you heartless little witch. I was a mother in pain. Was what I did really so wrong? Anyone would have done what I did in my position. You needed to learn a lesson, so I taught you one. So you did this for Rodney? Something tells me he didn't want you to beat the crap out of his wife. He couldn't be more furious with you. In fact, I've never seen him this mad. Wait, what? Is Rodney here too? Yes, he's talking to the police at the moment. He told them to do whatever it takes to arrest you, even if that means using force. You've got another thing coming if you think he's going to defend you. He wants you in the back of one of these cop cars more than anyone. He said you need to pay the price for what you did. No, this can't be happening. My son would never say that. Oh, by the way, there's something I forgot to tell you. A few days ago, me and Rodney decided we're going to adopt. We've been making phone calls to all the local orphanages. It looks like we're going to be able to have our family after all. This is all your fault for not being able to have children. None of this would be happening if you didn't have a barren wasteland for a womb. If you didn't tell me all that nonsense about adopting or fostering, I never would have had to buy that baseball bat. You might not be blood related, but any children we adopt would have been your grandkids. But we don't have any intention of letting you meet them now. Far from it. We're not even going to tell them you exist. I can't think of a single benefit of them knowing about someone as horrible and black-hearted as you. We're washing our hands of you. No matter what happens to you from here on out, it's not our problem. We'll never be there for you again. Not now, not ever. You mean you're hanging me out to dry? I wouldn't put it that way. I'd say it's more like we're having a tumor removed. Anyway, this wasn't my idea. It was Rodney's. There's no way he'd ever say that. Stop lying to me, Megan. You're sick. I'm guessing you stole my purse to make it look like a robbery? You probably thought you were really clever by covering your tracks like that, didn't you? I bet you didn't think it'd come back to bite you in the ass this hard. It's time to come out of the house and face the music. You shut your mouth. This is all your fault. All your fault, I tell you. You'll pay for this. You wouldn't believe some of the rumors going around the neighborhood about you, Betty. You really are the talk of the town. I doubt you're going to have any allies left when you get out of prison. I hope you're good at being on your own, because something tells me you're going to have a very lonely, isolated future ahead of you. You deserve every second of it, of course. Oh my God, how could you do this to me? I'm the victim in all of this. You stole my son. You called me an evil witch. But judging from some of the conversations I'm hearing out here, the public consensus is that you're the evil one. Rodney and I don't want anything more to do with you. We are so done. You said I was damaged goods, but from where I'm standing, the only damaged one here is you. And I mean that on a deep, psychological level. We'd have to be insane to carry on letting you play a part in our lives. See ya. Not long after that, Betty, accepting her fate, appeared on the doorstep and was quickly taken away in the back of a cop car in front of the entire neighborhood. She was given a hard time after a very speedy trial. It was an open and shut case due to my blood being all over the baseball bat I found in her shed. The only visitor she got was a single reporter from a local newspaper who wanted to do a piece on the whole affair. True to form, she desperately tried to defend herself and play the victim during the interview. Knowing her, she was probably arrogant enough to believe she could convince the reporter and the world of her innocence. However, when the article eventually came out, it made her look about as bad as it possibly could have. The piece, titled "Baseball Bat-Wielding Maniac Mother-in-Law from Hell," ripped her to shreds and portrayed her accurately as the deranged lunatic she is. Her futile attempts at asserting her innocence only made her look worse in the end. Once she was in jail, Rodney and I moved out of state somewhere she could never find us and adopted our first child. Her name is Clara, and she's the most adorable little girl you'll ever meet. It's a shame we couldn't have kids of our own. But every cloud has a silver lining, and it's precisely because we couldn't have our own children that we were blessed enough to meet her and have her in our lives. The workings of fate are mysterious and inexplicable. And even though it hasn't been plain sailing, me and Rodney feel nothing but grateful for what life has given us.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey, Matt, did you get off work yet?
Yeah, I just got home as a matter of fact. How about you? You chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool?
You betcha. I've been spoiling myself like a princess lately. Don't get me wrong, I still make sure to keep on top of things around the house. Simple stuff, at least. But I spend most of my time doing sweet FA.
If you're chilling out, you're happy, and if you're happy, I'm happy, babe. You'll have the job of your life on your hands when you give birth to our baby boy. So I want you to relax to the max until then. Get in as much you time as possible, okay? That means doing stuff you enjoy. Within reason, of course. I don't want you doing any backflips or going on any roller coasters, but well, yeah, you catch my drift.
Don't worry, I don't have any backflips or theme park trips scheduled for the time being. I've been knitting little sweaters and hats for the baby. I even made a sling to wrap our little bundle of joy in so I can still be mobile while keeping an eye out. To tell you the truth, every day is a blast lately.
Wow, you did all that? Why don't you prioritize yourself instead of the baby for a change, eh?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is what I enjoy doing the most. So, in a way, I am. Thank you, Matt. I know your mom and dad were opposed to me going back to my folks' place for a home birth, and I really appreciate you bringing me out here. It's all thanks to you that I'm able to relax and take it easy like this.
Don't mention it. Besides, it was never their right to decide in the first place. I know how hard living with my parents can be at the best of times. The last thing I wanted was them giving you a hard time while you were pregnant. You must be sick of my mom with the way she constantly barks orders at you, right? I couldn't have you putting up with that anymore. Especially not now we have our son to think about. You know, she's complaining that she has to do the housework herself now you're gone. The idea of her backside to clean the place up so far out of the question for her that she actually hired a housemaid.
Really? I guess it is a big house. I feel like it'd take a whole day to clean the entire place.
Right? And who was it who forced you to do just that all this time? I want you to know that when you come back from your folks' place after the birth, you don't have to lift a finger. I want you to carry on relaxing and taking it easy for a while. I'll tell Mom to carry on hiring the maid.
But Matt, I'm your wife. Is she really gonna be okay with that?
Don't worry about my mom. We were only ever supposed to be living with my parents for 2 years. Once you get home after the birth, those 2 years will almost be over.
Okay, fair enough. In that case, please go ahead and talk to her. I mean, it's not like I mind helping out, but I'm not sure how useful I'd be if I had to juggle housework with raising a newborn baby. So I think it's better I just focus on our son. Lord knows I'll have my hands full. Of course, I'll still do little bits here and there.
Sure, babe, just do whatever you can. And don't demand too much of yourself. If she ever says anything to you, I want you to let me know immediately, okay? I mean it. Don't hesitate. I won't tolerate her causing you any more trouble than she already has.
Thank you. Just hearing you say that, it feels like a weight's been lifted from my shoulders.
Man, they really did give you a hard time, huh? They never listened to a word you said, and they stopped at nothing to get you to do their bidding. Things are gonna change big time when you come back. Oh yeah, guess what they started doing after you left? Trying to come up with names for our baby, my parents. As if it's their God-given right.
Huh? Wait, what? Your mom and dad are coming up with names for our baby?
Right? To quote my mom, don't trouble yourself with coming up with a name, dear. Me and your father will take care of it. They never shut up about the baby being the successor to our proud lineage and family name. You think we were aristocrats in freaking medieval Europe. Don't worry though, there's no way I'm letting them get their way.
Of course not. The baby's name is important. It's only natural we're the ones who decide on it.
You said it. Anyway, how long is it now? It must be less than a month out, right? I can't wait. I wonder what kind of person our son will grow up to be.
Don't get ahead of yourself, sweetie. He's not even here yet.
I can't tell you how excited I am, though. I feel like a kid at Christmas again. I hope it takes after you and not me in the looks department. Come to think of it, it's probably for the best it takes after you personality-wise, too. You are super kind.
Why so self-deprecating all of a sudden, sweetie? Our son will be perfect whoever he takes after. Because he's ours. Besides, you're the kind one.
Kind to you, maybe?
Nuh-uh, you're kind to everyone. Oh, sorry, it's almost supper time. I gotta go.
Sure thing, babe. Enjoy.
One more thing, Matt. Thanks for putting so many hours in at the office for me and the baby. I want you to know we appreciate ya.
Where did that come from?
I think it every day. It's only right I let you know. I'm so happy I married you. You're so kind and thoughtful.
Hey, that's my line. You're not just kind either. You have the patience of a saint. Not many people would have what it takes to tolerate living with my parents. But don't think you have to go out of your way to carry on having anything to do with them once you move out. What really matters is mine, yours, and our baby's happiness. That's our real family, right there. Oops, sorry, babe, I'm hopping on. You should go and enjoy your supper.
Got it. Okay, sweetie. I'll text you later.
Hello there, Chrissy. How's the baby doing?
Hey, Elaine. The baby's doing great. He sure is energetic today. I feel like I have a little drummer in my belly. The doctor said he's growing healthy.
I'm glad to hear it. I can't deny you giving birth out in the middle of nowhere at your parents' house worries me though. Are you sure this is a good idea? It is really an appropriate medical environment to be giving birth in. It's such a shame. If you'd have just listened to my sagely advice and had the birth at the reputable university hospital I oh so kindly recommended, you'd have nothing to worry about.
You say it's in the middle of nowhere, but the facilities out here aren't too shabby, you know? There's a general hospital nearby. All the reviews I read online were 5-star. Apparently, they're amazing in emergencies.
Even still, I'm not sure you can seriously compare it to a university hospital in the big city. A countryside general hospital seems like a lousy environment to me. That boy in your belly is the heir to be our proud lineage and family name. We'll be in a lot of trouble if you don't bring our little treasure into the world safely.
Obviously, that's what I want too. But no matter how thoroughly you plan, the unpredictable will always find a way to happen. I'll love my son no matter what.
It must be nice having such a nonchalant attitude towards everything. That child will be the successor to my husband's company. I really wish you'd start treating the situation with the gravity it deserves.
Excuse me? Surely you don't know that yet. He hasn't even been born yet.
Irrelevant? What on earth are you talking about? Of course it has to inherit the company. Matt refused to take it on himself, so who else does that leave us? All my husband's hard work will have been for nothing otherwise. It's your child's responsibility to clean up after the mess his bungling father made.
But me and Matt will support our boy in whatever he wants to do. Who are we to try and force him down a predetermined path against his will? If he grows up and decides he wants to inherit the company one day, then great. But there's no guarantee of that happening, so I can't promise anything, and you shouldn't expect me to either.
The child could have everything. Just think, the path to company president riches, renown, prestige, all laid out for him before he's even born. Who in their right mind wouldn't jump at the chance? Apart from my useless wet noodle of a son, of course. Ugh. Listen, Chrissy, I won't bore you by going on and on. But the bottom line here is that you're to raise that child as the successor to my husband's company. It's to receive a special education for gifted individuals from an early age. Surely you and my son don't object to that?
To be honest, we haven't even thought about what kind of education we're gonna give him yet. First and foremost, all that matters to us is that he's born safely and in good health.
Ugh, the horror. Ugh, what did I expect from a high school dropout? Oh, do forgive me, dear. I wasn't trying to insult or criticize you. It's just that you have to remember that unfortunately, This child will inherit your inferior low IQ genes. That means we have to offset the damage as much as possible by providing it with an elite, first-class education as early as we can. You understand that, don't you?
Don't worry, Elaine. I understand exactly how you feel about me and my educational history. But me and Matt will decide on how to raise the baby ourselves. Because he's our child.
Huh? I've never heard anything so ridiculous. Do you even think before you send me this nonsense? Take a look at my son, for heaven's sake. He was able to go to a top-class college and enter a major global company thanks to the elite parenting and education I provided him with. Most people would kill for an opportunity to receive this sagely advice of someone as knowledgeable as me. The only reason you have the financial security to be able to live like a lady of leisure as a stay-at-home housewife is because I raised my son into such a fine example of a man. Are you aware of that?
Yes, Elaine.
And that's not all. We need to discuss the child's name. Me and my husband have been doing some thinking. We decided it's going to be called Matthias.
What? Elaine, please forgive me, but me and Matt have agreed we'll decide on a name. After the baby's been born and we've seen its face.
You've agreed to do what? What's wrong with Matthias? I think it's a delightful name. It's classy, dignified, has an air of tradition. Not like these ridiculous trendy names that seem to be in fashion these days. I read about someone calling their girl Coconut in one of my magazines the other day. Can you believe that? Matthias is a normal name. What's the problem?
Please don't misunderstand me here. I think Matthias is a really nice name. But Matt's name is, well, Matt. It's too similar.
Duh, we chose it precisely because it's similar. You imbecile, my son's brilliant. But he has personality problems. We plan on raising little Matthias as Matt II, this time without any of the defects.
Wow, you plan on doing what? That's not fair, Elaine. Matt and the baby are different people.
That may be so, but it's the child's duty to make up for the failures of his father. He'll be everything my son is and more. Think of him as a kind of replacement.
A replacement? I'd really appreciate it if you stopped talking about my husband like he has something wrong with him. And if you could stop thinking of my son like he's some tool to be manipulated and used for your own gain. That'd be great. No one's perfect, me and you included. And for better or worse, our son has the right to walk his own path. It's not our place to deprive him of that.
Gah, I've had it with you. How dare you answer back to me, your mother-in-law, you little bitch? Do you have any idea who you're speaking to? Who the hell do you think it was who approved yours and Matt's marriage in the first place? Lord knows you're an awful match. You should be thanking your lucky stars I was so kind. If you insist on being so downright impertinent and refusing to show me the respect I deserve as your mother-in-law, I'll have no choice but to rethink my decision.
Wow, Elaine. I'm sorry if I upset you. Will you please calm down? I understand how you feel, but we don't think it's fair to decide on our son's future before he's even born. Besides, he's mine and Matt's son, not yours.
Good grief, you really are an irredeemable moron. All you need to do is give birth, half-wit. Leave the rest to me and my husband. You clearly don't have the intelligence or common sense to raise him into the fine example of a man he could be with mine and my husband's guidance. So just do as you're told.
Look, I'm sorry. But when it comes to my son, I won't back down. Me and Matt will raise him as we see fit, and that's final.
Oh, that's final, is it? You think you're so clever, don't you? What on earth has gotten into you all of a sudden? I always knew you were an idiot, but I've never known you to be this darn arrogant. I always thought you were a respectful, quiet girl. I must finally be seeing your true colors.
Huh?
What benefit do you possibly think a blithering moron like you could bring to your son's life? How dare you talk back to me? Does your arrogance know no bounds? How much do you have to ridicule your aged mother-in-law before you'll be satisfied?
I'm really not talking back to you or trying to upset you or anything. You gave me your opinion. All I did was give you mine back. Is that not allowed? I wasn't trying to ridicule you. Not at all.
That's called talking back. You were still in diapers when I was raising your husband, you insolent little upstart. Do you have any idea how much more I know about children than you? I hope you know that beyond giving birth, you serve absolutely no purpose to this family. If you want me to acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law, then I suggest you tread very, very carefully and do exactly as you're told from now on, because I'll be watching you like a hawk, girlie.
Chrissy, you awake?
Yep, I'm still up. What's up? Did something happen?
I know this is really sudden and what I'm about to say will shock you, but I want you to listen carefully.
What is it?
You need to stay at your parents' place after the birth and never come back here again. We can't let our son anywhere near my mom and dad.
Huh? What the? Why would you say that? We can't let our son live with your parents? What's that supposed to mean? I'm giving birth the day after tomorrow. Wait, did your mom and dad say something to you? Is that where this is coming from?
My parents didn't say anything to me. Listen, I was speaking to the maid yesterday. You know, the girl my mom hired who's always over cleaning the place. Anyway, she told me something. Apparently, my mom and dad are planning on stealing our baby.
Stealing our baby? How? There's no way I let that happen. I'll never let anyone take my baby.
Yeah, my parents are fully aware of that, but think about this. How would you stop them if you felt so ill you were physically incapable of looking after him?
If I fell ill. But I'm fine. All of my medicals came back clear.
They're planning on turning you into their own personal slave when you come back. Apparently, they're gonna overwork you as much as possible so you reach breaking point before our 2-year stay with them comes to an end.
What?
Not only that, but they're gonna subject you to unending torrents of verbal abuse. Day in, day out, until you're not just physically broken, but mentally too. Then they're gonna report you to Child Protection Services, claim you're unfit to be a mother, and request custody of our boy. Basically, as soon as you come back after the birth, they're gonna cancel the maid so they can palm off all of her duties, and then some onto you. To the point that you're so broken, drained, and worn down that you're no longer capable of looking after yourself, let alone our son. At which point they're gonna swoop in and make their move on him.
Oh my god. Are they really that desperate to get their hands on our boy? I mean, I know they're pretty passionate about wanting him to inherit your dad's company. But this crosses the line.
I know it does, babe. I'm so sorry. It was a mistake to ever let them move in with us. I only did it because my mom said she'd give us a blessing on the marriage if we moved in with them for 2 years. But you know what? We never needed a freaking blessing in the first place. She can disappear into a hole for all I care. And she can take my nasty, abusive dad with her. I'm so sorry for everything they put you through.
Don't be silly, Matt. I agreed to move in too. It's not like you forced me. It was a 50-50 decision. She's your mom, and I wanted her to acknowledge me as your wife. We did this together. It wasn't just you, so stop blaming yourself, okay?
In any case, my mind is made up and my will is resolute. We won't have anything else to do with them after this. They'll be gone from our lives forever. I was reluctant at first, but I thought we'd come to some kind of mutual understanding eventually after living together for a while. But looking back, I know now I was kidding myself. I was naive to think they could ever change. From now on, me and you are gonna focus on nothing but ourselves, the baby, and our happiness as a family. And screw anyone who tries to get in our way.
I'm with you, honey. I want you to know that we'll always be a team, no matter what. There's nothing I won't do for my baby. I'll stop your parents getting their hands on him if it's the last thing I do.
Chrissy, when will you be coming back from your parents' house? Hasn't it been long enough already? I thought you were supposed to be coming back last month. How long do you plan on lazing around on mommy's and daddy's dime? I'd also like you to tell me why you've been ignoring my messages and calls. Go on, explain yourself. What's with this rebellious, impertinent attitude of yours?
Mom, it's Matt.
Huh? Matt?
I'm with Chrissy.
Ah, yes, of course, I remember now. You told me yesterday you'd be going to see her today. In that case, I want you to pass on a message. Tell her to start fulfilling her duties as your wife. As things stand, she still lives with us. We've managed somehow or other up till now, but things will start getting very difficult for me and your father if she doesn't come home soon.
What do I have to say to make you understand? Chrissy isn't your personal housemaid.
I never said she was.
So why did you force her to spend every waking moment doing the housework for the best part of 2 years, huh? And if that wasn't bad enough, you always yelled across the house and summoned her like you were some kind of queen, making her wait on your hand and foot, ordering her to make you teas and coffees and take away your dishes when you got done eating. To top it off, in spite of the fact she was cleaning the entire house every single day, you never once said thank you.
Everyone knows it's a bride's sworn duty to serve her in-laws. Some people might call it old-fashioned or archaic, but it's tradition, and traditions are important.
I know exactly how you feel, Mom. I just don't understand it. I have no intention of letting you carry on, forcing her to be yours and Dad's slave.
Don't talk silly. Me and your father would be lost without her helping out around the house. She's your wife, and as your wife, she has a duty to serve you and your family like her life depends on it. Stop going easy on her and bring her back to this house this instant.
Mom, me and Chrissy won't be coming back home.
Excuse me, what did you just say? You won't be coming home? What's that supposed to mean? You mean you're staying with your parents for a while?
No, I think you'll understand exactly what it means if you take a look at our bedroom. All of our stuff is gone. We're done living with you.
Wait, what? How could you? You wouldn't. You can't. You can't just decide to move out without mine and your father's permission. Who do you think you are?
We can and we are, and that's not all. We're cutting off all ties with you and Dad and Mom.
Matt, you stop this nonsense at once. We are your parents. You're our son, our only son. You can't do this. What's your father supposed to do about his company with you gone?
Not my problem. I'm sure I can find someone talented enough to hand it over to. Why does it have to be with me in the first place? I've been with a different company for nearly a decade now. How many times do I have to tell you I have no intention of inheriting it before you understand? I'm at my wit's end, Mom. You left me no choice because you refused to listen.
In that case, hand over the child. Me and your father will raise that boy into the greatest CEO there ever was.
No chance.
No chance. Yes, exactly. If you go through this, me and your father are going to have no chance at finding a suitable successor. Don't do this to us. We can't let the company leave the family. All of your father's hard work and his father before him gone, like dust in the wind.
That's for you and Dad to deal with.
Why, you little ingrate. Do you have any idea how hard your father worked to maintain and develop that company? How much blood, sweat, and tears went into this prosperity and success?
I know how hard he worked, and I think he's nothing short of incredible for it. But that has nothing to do with me, and nothing to do with my son.
Of course it does. It has everything to do with you. Without the money your father made with that company, you wouldn't have become half the man you are. The company gave you everything, and you're about to let some outsider get their grubby hands on it?
So what? I'm done doing as I'm told. Ever since I was a kid, I did nothing but follow your orders, like I had no will of my own. I went to the middle school, high school, college, grad school you wanted me to go to. I learned the piano, trumpet, went to calligraphy classes, trained karate, and took private leadership tutoring. All because you and Dad wanted me to, I tolerated it all. I didn't complain once, but as soon as I told you there was something I wanted to do, you repudiated me. You mocked and ridiculed me so badly that eventually I lost the courage to even tell you I had dreams of ambitions of my own.
Look, son, I accept it. Maybe you did have to tolerate things you didn't want to do from time to time. But if not for that, you wouldn't have grown into the brilliant, successful man you are today. Me and your father worked hard to ensure you'd lead a happy life. No, you forced me to do things I didn't want to do against my will.
Of course I'm grateful that you raised me, but what you did was wrong. It's time to stop treating me like a sacrificial lamb to your own failed ambitions. As long as you think the way you do and act the way you act, we have no intention of letting you see your grandson.
Tell me where you are, right now. We need to talk.
No chance. We're somewhere you and Dad have no hope of finding us.
Tell me where. If you refuse to tell me, I'll have no choice but to drive to your office and ask your boss. I wonder what he'd think of that. Is that what you want, Matt? Is it?
Do what you like. I don't even work there anymore. Just try not to kick up such a fuss that the cops have to come and arrest you.
What? You quit your job? At that major global company? You quit? When?
Yep.
Actually, this is great. There's nothing stopping you from inheriting your dad's company now. The more I think of it, the more pleased I am. The timing's perfect. If you agree to take over the company, we'll give up on the child.
I'll never listen to another word you say. Goodbye, Mom. This will be the last time we ever speak.
Wait, what? Matt? Hold your horses, young man. Just wait.
Hi, Elaine. It's Chrissy. Matt just gave me back my phone. I wanted to say goodbye for the last time.
Chrissy, please, you have to make my son see sense. He'll listen to you. You're his wife. You're a mother now. Surely you understand better than anyone how much pain what Matt's doing is causing me.
For sure, there's no denying it. This must suck like hell for you. But I respect my husband's will. It's a shame that you never did end up giving us your blessing, but even still, we don't regret anything. I know it won't be easy, but do your best to forget about your son and grandson.
Chrissy, just wait. Please listen to me. If you agree to come home, me and my husband will buy you anything you want. Anything at all. How does that sound? Not only that, but you'll never have to do any housework anymore. For as long as you live. You can laze around on the sofa all day eating Cheetos and watching soap operas for all I care.
Do you seriously think any of that sounds appealing to me? Don't treat me like I'm an idiot.
Chrissy, I'm begging you, please. My husband will be furious with me if you go through this. I think you already knew this, but he gets violent when he's angry. If he finds out you and our son pulled a vanishing act, my life is over.
So let me get this straight. You're saying I should sacrifice my son and husband's future to make you happy? You should know that my family is the only thing in this world that matters to me, and you and your husband are not a part of it. We're never coming back there.
Please, Chrissy, please. I'll never say anything else about your son's education. You can raise him however you like, I promise. We'll cover all of his tuition fees. Please, I'm begging you, just come back. You have to come back. What will it take for you to give me another chance? I'll give yours and my son's marriage my blessing. I'll acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law. Please, just come back.
Are you serious? You plotted to steal my son for crying out loud. You're not my in-laws. You're nothing to me. You can keep your blessings to yourself. My only priority from here on out is to build a happy home full of smiles and laughter with my husband and son. The likes of you and your husband have no place in that. After that, my in-laws panicked and embarked on a frenzied quest to track us down. But apparently they gave up a year later when they heard we'd moved abroad. Newborn babies are allowed to fly after 8 days, but the flight would have been long, and we didn't want to put our son through any unnecessary stress. Which is why we continued living incognito in the States until he was 6 months old before escaping overseas. The word escape might be a little misleading, but the reason we actually left the States was for Matt's new job. I heard the in-laws completely lost it when they realized they'd never see their son or grandson again. They showed up at my folks' place begging for information on our whereabouts on countless occasions, and Elaine's face was all bruised and swollen every time. I can't tell you how relieved I am that we managed to escape from Matt's violent, controlling dad and his subservient lapdog of a mother. The biggest irony in all this is that his dad's company had been dire straits for years, and unless some miracle-working business genius came along and turned things around, the looming bankruptcy was a far bigger issue than the lack of a successor. Forcing anyone onto a path they don't want to go down is bad enough,
But the fact that they were so desperate to palm off a failing company onto a little kid who knew nothing of the world is downright despicable. I don't know whether it was down to Matt's dad's stubbornness or pride, but he showed no signs of relenting even until the very end. I don't know what the future holds for my in-laws, but it's hard to believe two people so horrible their own son felt he had no choice but to cut all ties with them could ever be happy. Unless they do some serious soul-searching and change their ways, something tells me we won't be the last people to make a tactical retreatment from their lives. As for me and Matt, we're living in a hectic life of work and child raising abroad. But one thing's for sure, we're the happiest we've ever been, and we wouldn't change it for the world. We're still not completely used to life in a foreign country, but I'm so happy we can finally raise our son without worrying about unwanted interference from third parties. I'll never forget what we had to go through to get here, and I count my lucky stars every day. I'm so grateful for my husband and all of the other amazing people in our lives who are always there to support us. It almost doesn't feel real, but I finally realized my dream of building a happy home full of smiles and laughter with my husband and son. Hey, wait, my stew's gonna boil over. Gotta go.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.